Okay, it says we're live. It's Patdees, and my channel's Patdees72. Sometimes I catch myself calling myself Patdees72 when 72 is not part of my name. But that's the channel name. And welcome to the Late Show here at 11 o'clock. Patdees72. Oh, see, what did I do?
Wouldn't be a show without that happening.
I even catch myself. You know what happened was I pulled up the damn to watch the show because the way it was set up, and I wasn't able to mute it. So sorry about that, guys. Rookie hour, you would think after so many shows. So, but how's everybody doing tonight on the co-panelist?
Doing good myself, you know. So went to work today a little bit and got to list a few items.
I can't complain.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort some postcards and get back into the groove.
I don't know. I've just been relaxing. I'm in vacation mode for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Why is that? What have you been doing?
Because my air conditioner went down at the warehouse and they're replacing it, and I'm not getting done until Wednesday. So the past 2 weeks I haven't had air, so I haven't gone into work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you haven't even been to the warehouse at all.
Yeah, it's been. I went in like twice in the 2 weeks, and it got to the point where it was almost 90 in there, and I was dying.
Oh,
That's no
You
fun.
should hear him whine about it. It's pathetic.
Grow up, be a big boy, and just man up. I can only say that 'cause I went 2 days without one, and it's no fun for 2 days.
No, and I don't know what the heck is going on with the weather across the country because I saw something. I mean, obviously, you guys heard about the earthquakes in California. We invited Anita on the show, and she said she may stop in, and if she's comfortable talking about it, then you know, she's going to let us know. You know, her and I don't know if you guys were last night. Was watching the Bearded Picker, and Harlan had mentioned that the Treasure Hustlers were live, and 20 minutes into their live, all of a sudden there's an earthquake, and you know, and you could see that something was going on, and you know, that was part of their live. And then I heard something today in Toronto. There's a heat wave. Kimberly talking about the heat. I know here it's hot and sticky here, and we've had thunderstorm. I mean, I know it's just the weather lately. For us here in Pennsylvania, we just been getting a lot of rain all the time. It seems like every weekend that you know, that it's raining.
I just had to deal with the basement flood a few minutes ago. So
Yeah, we had a tornado warning between 5:30 and 6 today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm about 2 hours south of Pat.
Yeah.
We had a gray cloud in the sky, and that was about it.
It's always sunny in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Anita just sent me a message. She's going to be in the side chat, but she's not going to come on live with us. So, but that's okay, Anita. I understand. You know, these people are shaken up as far as, you know, what's going on because, you know, they had 2 earthquakes in 3 days and stuff like that. So, you know, she's rather shaking up. So it's just going to be us guys here tonight. We have to hold down the fort. I'm glad Eric set the dress code tonight with this Hawaiian shirt. I actually had a T-shirt on, and I went and changed, and Jason came back changed. So we're all set tonight. Craig?
Yeah.
You're looking good too, buddy.
You didn't have to tell me that.
So let me say hi to some of the people in the chat. Swamp Picker Glenn was here first. Melissa was here. She said she was going to watch the news. Perlini, if I'm not saying the name right, that's Lynn. She's getting coffee. Hello, Starty City Picker. Hello, Adam is in here. Kimberly is in here. Kimberly wasn't feeling too good, so she's not going to pop in, I guess, tonight either. So again, it's all us guys. So the show won't be as good without the girls, but we'll try our best. Sue, hey Sue, how are you? Who's Luigi? No, they're talking about my cousin Placido Pat that was last week on Kimberly's show. A little bit. He had stopped over, so that's who they're talking about. DI Crazy Card. Aaron, hey Aaron, how are you doing? Harlan, thanks for stopping in. Tasha, good, my first love of ours. I'm not sure what that means. Every day I'm hustling. I met him the other day on an appear with Jason, Mary Death Dells, thanks for stopping in. David, Deep Fried Deals, thank you for stopping in. Banana Finds, thanks for waking up on time to be on the show tonight. And I joke with him because he stands me up sometimes when we're supposed to go places. Reselling Rob, Earthquake Sucker.
It was.
Yeah, no, my heart was broken.
Wait, it was once for Pat and once for me.
Ah, see, there's a pattern.
At least he's consistent.
That's right. Hey, we got 35 people in the room watching. I really appreciate it. Diesel Engine, I see you. Hello. Tracy, hello. 35, 34, well, 34, 35 watching. So,
Get it.
Did you hear? I don't know what's been going. I don't know. Like, hey, Pat the reseller is in here. I'll tell you, that guy, he goes on Scott's show a lot in the side check, and he's talking about his business as far as a lot of the unique things he does. He grinds things down and takes the metal and stuff out of it. And I wish that he would make a video because I think it's just another way to make money. And Jason, have you ever done any of that? Because you're into equipment and stuff like that.
What do you mean?
What were you talking about? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure I understood it. So
what? There we go. Here's Glenn back now.
What do you mean? My little Hawaiian shirt on.
we should. It's July 4th weekend, Hawaiian night. So, Craig, if you need,
I'm just gonna go topless. All right.
No.
Since it's Pat's channel, yeah, okay.
It is hot and sticky. I'll tell you that. But no, we got to keep it PG. We went off the rails the last 10 minutes last week. Now we got a good bunch of old guys here that will keep things sane here.
I don't know if that was a compliment or an insult. Or...
Well, that's reality.
That's reality.
It's reality. No, what I was talking about, Jason, it's Pat the reseller is a guy that buys like medical equipment, I guess computers, stuff like that, and he grinds it up in a machine and pulls the metals out. And then he also does stuff for veterans where he sells stuff to benefit them.
Oh, okay.
So
no, I give all my scrap metal away.
Okay, yeah, he says he has a hammer mill and a shaker table to process the gold. Now, I'm not sure if he processes the. I wish he would come. He doesn't have any. He has like 42 subscribers, but he doesn't have any content. But he's a very good person that comes and pops in the room and supports a lot of the people, the core of us that do YouTube here and stuff, and makes a lot of money doing it, something that people wouldn't even think of,
Oh yeah, no, it's a good way. I mean, I've been hoarding like brass and copper, but that's about it.
What are you hoarding it for? How comes you're not selling it?
I don't know, man. It just sits like on a shelf like the rest of the stuff that I get. I'll get around to it one day. It's been there like 3 years now at least. I have this pile that just keeps getting bigger. It's all I got room for it.
Yeah, now I do scrapping a little bit on the side, as you guys know, because I mentioned to you. And I was at a place the other day. Oh, he even processed PC boards, he says.
Oh,
I was at a place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at a place.
Holding that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm probably the silver too. When they do, I'm not sure if he pulls that out or not. Oh yeah, see, there's another guy who takes ingots out of aluminum, brass, and copper, reselling Bob. But now the other day I took a stove that I found, and I'm surprised. It was like 10 minutes away, and I got $12 just for an old stove. It's probably 40 years old. So there's money in metals and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I actually have a few like actual bricks of copper.
Oh. Pat, you got any show and tell from this afternoon? No, I guess what he's talking about. What happened today is that I'm not able to go to the flea market today because I help out this local sporting goods store that this is their weekend for customer appreciation, and they spent about $5,000 to bring in a fish tank.
Yes,
and and they do the different baits and stuff like that. I help them. Now my wife and my son work there today, like 8 or 10 hours, but I help them out because they always give me supplies of certain things that I could sell without having to invest money. Like this week, I don't know what's been going on with eBay, but eBay, I mean, who was being yelled at? Oh, that's Craig again. The nursing home told him to turn the lights off. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. Craig, smile.
It's bingo night. Every once in a while, you're going to hear around here.
Exactly.
But it gives me a bunch of stuff. Like if I sell knives for her and then I get a cut, but I don't have to tie up the money into the inventory. I mean, you guys saw 5 minutes into when we started the show, I had sold stuff, you know, on already this week. I don't know about you guys, but eBay this week has picked up for some reason, and I kind of don't get it.
Been good
How
for me.
about you guys?
It's been one of my better weeks. I will say that, but I've been listing a lot, so
I'm below average.
Glenn?
I sold a few items this week. I sold about 3 of those oral bees total this week, and a couple of like gun cleaning that not much, and a couple motorcycle parts in my motorcycle account.
Yeah. And Jason, because you haven't been going over the warehouse, does that affect you know, in what you're doing?
Put it this way: about 3 weeks ago, last 31 days, I was averaging 20,000. Right now, last 31 days, I'm at 6,700. So yeah, it's affecting things.
Oh wow! Yeah, I mean, I know when I was there, it was hot in the warehouse, so I could imagine. And was the air conditioner working when I was down?
No, it wasn't. It's been down for a while. They were having some issues, and eventually they're just replacing the whole unit now, which is even better.
Right.
Finally, it should be all done.
Well, I got a climate control one, the one I got a lot of my bike stuff at, and it's like, but it's tall ceilings, so when they turn the air on, it's like over 300. This old grocery store, they basically turn it into a deal, but it's still hot. You know, let you go in there, you can hear the air turned on, but you're still sweating, especially if you're in there like 30 or 40 minutes at a time.
Yeah, what's worse? Yeah, what's worse, at the warehouse, I don't have there's no windows or anything, and the door's on like this funny angle. If I leave the door open, birds fly in and everything else with wings. Right there.
Well, it only has lights in the hallway, so a lot of times they go out, you got to go outside and wave your hands to get the motion to turn it back on,
Oh, and even better, I have in the main room where I'm sitting using the computer, it's like 15-foot ceiling, and it's there's all skylights. So I'm like, I was wondering why I was getting like sunburned on the top of my head. Yeah, it wasn't good.
I've always wondered why the eBay brand shipping supplies you can order. Why don't they offer bubble wrap?
Yep.
Yeah, most of the stuff they order is branded stuff.
Yeah, how do you brand bubble wrap?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's supply 95% of sellers on eBay use.
Right. I think part of the problem is it would probably be so expensive to ship it because it's bulky.
It's cheap. It doesn't weigh but ounces.
Yeah, but I think because now with dimensional, that might even make it worse because they can't. What I do, I buy it from the local UPS store, and the guy gives me a great deal. I mean, I buy a 5-foot roll of it. If you probably measured across 5 foot, I only pay like $25. And that in the store, I mean, yourself, you go to Walmart or even Lowe's, those small rolls, sometimes they're $10, $15.
I get mine from Amazon.
I use bubble wrap so infrequently that I get the regular stuff from Lowe's, just like a spool of, I think it's $250, I want to say, the feet.
Yep. Now I order it. I get 4 of the small rolls. I order from Amazon so I can get it into the small rolls. I can't get it locally from any type of manufacturer, so I spend like $33 to get 4 rolls.
The inch bubbles or the little small bubbles?
Small bubbles. I don't use the big ones anymore because I don't ship big, heavy stuff. I need it for filler, or I need it for small stuff to go into 644 and 864 boxes. So I just use the small bubble, the stuff that sits up there.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I also have bigger bubble, the 24-inch stuff, and I get that from Uline, and foam too. I use occasionally, but just the regular small 12-inch bubble wrap, I don't use very much.
Now, someone's asking, what do you use then instead of bubble wrap? I mean, I'll be honest. I'm surprised that you said that, Jason, because you know, I know you do a lot of machinery and stuff that seems like you'd be worried it would bounce around or something.
Well, the last thing you want to use is bubble wrap because it just pops under the weight, and then it turns into no packing at all. I use either the foam roll or I just pack really tight with newsprint, you know. Usually I don't, a lot of times I'll like wrap the object in newsprint and then pack in newsprint. It just, as long as it's packed tight and taped really well, it's not going to go anywhere.
Now, do you double box your stuff sometimes?
Only if it's very heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always thinking of the worst case scenario is the item breaking out of the box, not someone damaging the box or something like that. But I don't. I damaged item. I mean, I pack really well. I haven't had like a damaged item in years. I don't even remember the last time.
Yeah, the last item I had was a vintage. It's funny because of the TVs. I had shipped the TV and I thought I did a great job with it, and the way they threw it, it got smashed, and luckily I had it insured. And they covered it. I mean, it was only a $65 item, but I would have been out of the $65 had I not had the right insurance on it.
$65.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a TV I picked up at the Salvation Army for $5. Hey guys, we got 49 people in the room watching. I think at one time there was 55. Let's start with Jason, and so anybody knows is tell them who you are, your channel. And after the show, I always make sure I have a link, and if they comment on the side, you hit the 3 dots on the right. But let's start with Jason. Tell them who you are and kind of mainly what you sell and what you sell.
I am Banana Findz, Jason, and I sell primarily machine tools, parts, stuff like that. And I also sell a wide variety of other stuff like vintage electronics, computers, stuff like that.
Jason, how long you been doing it?
Since the beginning and then some. Pretty much my whole life.
Your first listing was the #1 listing on eBay, wasn't it?
No, I'm pre-eBay, man.
Yeah, the broken laser light.
I was doing mail order.
He was selling Beanie Babies when they were popular.
I remember when they were, put it that much. I remember going to the flea market, there'd be like this giant Beanie Baby truck and people be like mobbed at it.
Going to the McDonald's and see the big Beanie Baby meetups and everything.
Oh yeah, that's just big.
It was. I remember that back in my 20s. And but when I started seeing them sell Beanie Babies at a gas station, I said, uh-oh. It seems like there certain businesses, when they're the last to get in on it, it's probably in trouble. You know, and you got to remember back then there was really no Amazon just started and eBay had just started. Craig, tell everyone who you are and what you do and what you sell on.
Well, you just told them who I was.
Give me
Craig. I'm kidding. My name's Craig. Channel is the Landshark Picker. No "the" at the beginning, just Landshark Picker. Sell on eBay, Amazon, and Facebook Marketplace. Mainly source at thrift stores, auctions, Facebook Marketplace, and garage sales, things like that. My knowledge is in computers and electronics. I sell anything and everything I can outside of women's clothing.
Saves that for himself.
Exactly. That's on my other channel.
Yeah, that's more of a hobby, really. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Hawaii.
I'm Glenn. Like I said, I go by Swamp Picker. That's my channel. I do basically eBay. I do a little bit of Poshmark, and I try to do local as far as Let Go, Offer Up, Facebook Marketplace, and all that. And like I said, I've been doing this about since 2014, maybe 2015, on and off. Very part time, but also have a store for my work where I work at a motorcycle shop, and we have I have close to about 750, 800 items on the store, maybe 750.
So you sell for your family business also on eBay?
Yeah, eBay too. We got an eBay store for the business, and it's all motorcycle stuff.
Yeah.
And then I got my stuff, which is about 150.
Now, has it helped the business as far as?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I send stuff to Hawaii, not Hawaii. I meant Australia, UK, Sweden. I think I sold some last week in Sweden. You know, some days, like majority of my items would be GSP.
Wow.
I actually saw something on Facebook. You know, a person was looking for someone on Facebook and said, "Hey, I got that," you know, and sent a picture to them. And a lot of times I'll take a picture and get my mom to take a picture of me holding the item and post it on Facebook in the chat rooms and all that. So yeah, I'm holding one right now. You know, so I sent a gas tank to, like I said, the UK last week. You know, sold it for like $315 plus shipping, and shipping was like maybe $35. But I'm not sure what he paid to get it because he had to pay all kind of fees and all that. He said he was dreading that. You know.
And our last guy who set the trend tonight with his Hawaiian shirt, I don't want to reveal his name because he likes to be nameless.
I'm Eric. I'm the Nameless Picker is my channel. I sell only on eBay and online local auctions. I sell pretty much everything, but I concentrate more on ephemera. Been doing it since about 1996.
That sounded so enthusiastic.
What are you drinking tonight, Eric?
I am just drinking the standard little soft drink tonight. You know, nothing special.
That's why.
You're mellowing out. That's it. He's mellowing out.
We are going to be here on here for what, an hour? He's got plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got to pace himself.
The cigar is a rum-based cigar, though, so I will say that. So
rum-based. I didn't know they put alcohol in the cigars.
Yeah, it's infused with rum flavor.
Oh, okay.
In the paper.
Now, all of us, the one thing we have in common, except none of us go to a regular 9-to-5 job except Glenn, who helps with the family business, and yet he does his own things. Plus, he's helping the family business sell items, you know, e-commerce. So that, you know, that's one of the things. You know, yes, we are a reselling show. We talk about things. Reselling, you know, other things, what's going on in life, and but that's one thing we have in common. If you're new to the channel, this is a platform for resellers to talk about things that we've resold and, you know, knowledge that we've got. I met Jace, all these guys we've met through YouTube, and Eric, you're coming in probably about 12 more days then for an auction, right?
Actually, I can't. I had something come up. My online auction is shooting pictures that day, so I can't make that.
Oh, now what's that mean on shooting?
What we do is I run an auction out of my garage. I use to clean up big things I don't want to ship, things that either don't have enough eBay value or I want to put together in lots, things like that. Just stuff I don't want to put on eBay. And so I take it to my garage and I bring an auctioneer out. We take photos, get the whole thing set up, and we put it on a local online auction house. And so they'll bid on it locally online, then they'll come and we'll set aside a day. They'll come and pick it all up. So, you know, it's mainly a way for me to dump excess inventory,
right?
Especially things that I don't want to deal with, or things that are just really too. Especially now with dimensional shipping, I've got a lot of stuff that's just too big to ship. I don't want to ship computers and stuff like that. You know, I've got some extra things like that. I've got some things that just are actually better locally than they are on eBay, just because I can move them. If it's local history, it'll go better here than it will if I put it on eBay. So,
okay.
And it's hard. It's hard getting out of that mindset sometimes when you're primarily selling, you know, pick up things that you can move just locally. You know, like that.
Yeah, I had a 10 by 10 storage unit, and I have a 24 by 28 garage that was absolutely packed full of inventory. And over the last 7 or 8 months, I've almost emptied that out. You know, and that's just excess inventory stuff I'll never get to. Things that I bought that I like, oh, I'll list that. And I look at it, I'm like, there's no way in the world I'm going to ship that. You know, I had a Coke machine out there, for goodness sake. You know, so, I mean, it's just things like that. Just make it easier to get rid of stuff. And, you know, if it needs work or if it's damaged or something like that, I can put it out there for parts. And if I get, you know, $3 or $4 for it, I'm happy with that. I usually have 125 to 150 lots. So it does well.
Hey, Jason, you know what a bolo is. Kimberly points out something. Kimberly's pointing out something. And yes, each of you guys, a bolo is a be on the lookout. Could each of you guys share something that you guys feel that you should be on the lookout for, that you feel that always will sell or sells? You know, if it's something that you don't want to share as far as you feel it's competitive, you know, that's fine. But if it's something you're not worried about, you want to share. Jason?
Go to me last because I got to think about this for a minute because I don't buy, you know, I buy such obscure stuff.
You're not going to pull out your Altair or your trash tape?
No,
no. Right. I'll share something. You don't see them all the time, and they're, I don't want to say they're rare because they're not. The device itself is not rare, but the situation this one in significantly increases the value. A Sirius radio. It's got the.
Wow, it's got to have a lifetime subscription, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. And I paid $8.99 for it. I've had it.
Just a sec. Now tuning in.
Oh, shut up, Siri. I don't care. You know, without the lifetime, it's probably $50 or $60. With the lifetime, it's probably closer to $150, $200. But I've held on to it. I've probably had it 6 months, just waiting to, you know, just kind of keeping an eye on it, make sure that the subscription didn't lapse or something like that. But
how would you know that? I remember back in the day when they were selling those subscriptions forever, and I thought, how the heck could they afford that? How do you know? And that they'll honor it?
It's you turn it on, it's already subscribed. It's just like it's sitting at the person's house. You know, it's you pay. I think the way it works, you pay a one-time fee. It was like $100 or $200. It was a good.
I think if I remember correctly, it was like $160. You got, and it was a lifetime for that radio. Now the problem is you could never transfer that subscription to another radio.
Right, and if you pick them up, you can't call up and say, hey, you know, that's the problem with verifying them. The College Picker did probably one of the first videos I watched on it, and you can't call and say, hey, I've got this radio with this device number or whatever it is, the unique identifier, and say, I just want to make sure this is a lifetime member, lifetime subscription, because they're gonna shut it down. Best thing I can say is just, you know, hold on to it for a number of months when you think it's clear to cycle off. And I think the people that buy them are open to the risk of buying them in that situation.
Sirius bills either every year or every 3 months, so you can hold it for, if you hold it for 6 months, you'll know at that point whether it's at least got enough for a year on it. You know, if you hold it for more than a year and it still works, you know it's a lifetime. So
right, and if they haven't been turned on, I don't know what the timing is. It may be that 3 months. If they haven't been turned on for a period of time, when you turn them on the first time after that, they go and they sync all their channels back up. It's like it downloads the channel list, updates, things like that. And I did that in the store, and it sat there for about 15 minutes, and it finally came on and played. So.
Steve Alcorn, hey, thanks for stopping in. He's usually not a night guy, so to see him, he said never call Sirius. They will shut it off. He found one. He's keeping it from yesterday.
Yeah, Steve just did a video on his.
Oh, okay. Hey, Justin, Kathy, thank you for pointing out for another moderator, Michelle Lawwing. So I made Michelle a mod also in the room. I like to have a certain amount, but not overwhelmed, because, you know, sometimes you get people in the room that maybe have ill will intentions. So it's good to have people that have your back. Now, Eric, how about you, a bolo?
So it's hard for me to give you just a simple item that's going to sell every single time. The only thing that I will tell you to pick up on a bolo is if you pick it up and you have no idea what it is, That's the things you should be looking for.
I agree. Yeah.
It's just that if you see something that you see every day, if you see it every day, then so does everybody else. But if you pick up something, if you walk past something, and you're like, what in the world is that? It takes you some time to figure out what it is. That's the type of stuff you got to buy. It's going to get you the max value.
If it catches your eye, it's going to catch somebody else's too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be anything. It's just if you walk by, and take a couple minutes, do a little search, try to figure out some keywords for it. If you can't find it, that's the type of stuff I'll buy.
Well, like Eric's shirt, for example. If I'm flipping through shirts and I see a bunch of green polos and I see that one in the middle, I'm at least pull it out and look at it. I may not buy it, but it's something that it's eye-catching.
Yeah, I mentioned them last couple of shows. I've talked about the military photos. You don't see stuff like that. You don't see military, especially if they're official military photos. They've got the official stamps on the back. You don't see that stuff every day. So, you pick them up, you buy them, and you do well with them. Takes no time to get them up and listed and sell them. I've sold over 50 of those things at $10 a piece.
Talking about military stuff, I know these aren't photos and probably nowhere near the stuff you're talking about, but I bought like 5 things of Kodachrome slides way back. I got one of them out, and they're from 1968, and they've got Army pictures on them.
Yeah.
A lot of soldiers and barracks. Found one that had probably a 68, 69, probably a 67 or 68 model VW bus.
Yes, that'll be good.
What was anything unique.
What?
What will they do with those, Craig?
If you have the slide, and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the slide master in the group right now. If you own the slide, you can reproduce it, right?
Well, there's a little bit of a gray area there. If you own the slide, you have the only image. Slide film is done where the negative is the slide. So There's not another one of that shot out there. So you do technically own that image. Photographic copyright rules are a little bit weird because photographers own it for at least 75 years. But if there's nobody that can claim that slide, you pretty much can do whatever you want with it.
And it could be a picture of yourself too, taken by somebody else. They own the right to it, not you.
Correct. They can own the right on the slide, but without an owner. And if you bought that from somebody who owns the who owned the rights, and then they sold it to you, then they sold you the rights. That's the way I've always approached slide sales. There's a guy in New York City that has a website that he buys and finds and hoards slides, and he puts the images online, and he basically will reproduce any print or photo or poster out of any image. And he has a little blurb at the bottom of his thing saying, if you own the rights to this slide, let me know and I'll take it down. And every now and then someone says, yeah, that's my slide. I took that photo. He takes it down. But otherwise, he makes tons of money doing it.
And it's probably all stuff. And the Kodachrome are important because they hold their color better than the other ones, right?
Kodachrome, Ektachrome, Red Bower Kodak is older that actually hold this color. What you don't want to have is you don't want to buy slides that are tinted red. That means they're losing their color and they're not really any good. Unless the image is just smoking hot, maybe, it's the grassy knoll, something like that. Then the image it overrides the condition at that point. But I try not to buy stuff that's gone to that bad because it's really not worth anything. But the Kodachrome, Ektachrome, any of the Red Border Kodaks, those all hold their color really, really well.
The first ones I bought without looking at them, I picked up 1 or 2 and it had a couple of Kodachrome and they were okay. But the rest of the thing were all the not pre-printed, but the commercial built ones, the ones that aren't valuable at all.
Commercial slides aren't worth really anything. Yeah, they're neat that you might get a few dollars for them, but you're not going to get what you get out of a good slide image. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. People buy them, they reproduce them, they make postcards, they make posters out of them. It's a memory. Maybe they were there. They want to have that. They may never do anything with it. They may digitize it and put it as a background on a computer. I mean, there's lots of different things for them.
Same kind of stuff that people would possibly do with like advertisements out of magazines and things of that nature, I would think.
You can take an image, any image you want, you can send it away, and somebody will print you a canvas print of it. I mean, I've got several of those, and they make glass photos of them and you hang them as decorators. A lot of decorators will buy the stuff because they want the images, for reference. You get a lot of reference use out of slides and things that people can look back, look at fashion and colors and things like that. It just kind of depends on really what they want to do with it. It doesn't matter as long as they buy it. I don't care.
Hey, Eric, real quick while the chat's here. Steve Alcorn wants to know, what about the 1950 16 millimeter European travel films from the 1950s? He has a bunch.
16 millimeter. Wow.
If they were 16 millimeters, good, because that means it's better quality film. It's a larger print. You'll get a lot of clearer image. If they were commercially produced, they might be interesting. I don't know. You just, again, what's going to be cool about that is you're going to have more than likely a lot of vehicle images in there. So you're going to get people that want those to look at the cars from the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. I'd list them individually. What you can do is if you have I have a film digitizer, you can sit there and it'll play the film, so you can actually watch it and you can freeze it. And I'll take photos of the images on the film, and then I'll sell the whole roll. I don't know value. Value is hard. 16 millimeter, you don't come across it very often.
But
you usually see 8 or Super 8.
Non-commercially says.
It's kind of a crapshoot on that. Listed high.
Yeah. Melissa, yeah, Jason's quiet because we can't hear him because his keyboard is too loud. He's talking, we just can't hear him.
You don't know the hand gestures I want to do right now. But
The one finger type.
I'm number. You don't have to tell me. I'm number one. I know.
Whose turn are we up to with this Bolo thing?
Glenn.
All right.
I guess this would be mine right here. If you know, with luck, spring locket, Oral B Hummingbird.
Yep.
Refill packs. Like I said, I bought still at a estate sale. That's what I was talking about earlier when we came on the show. But basically paid 50. I'm selling those from $37 to $45 a pack or 15 pack, and I got 27 of them.
And that's another discontinued item, right?
Yes, discontinued. You know that. But they were actually the estate sale that Friday, whatever, and I didn't buy them. I saw them Saturday there and didn't buy them, but I went there by Sunday and all that and bought them for basically $20 for 35 pieces. So it brings it down like 58 cents a piece. And so far, I made $950 today, up to today after selling one item, 4 of them for like $37.50. You know, so, and like I said, I possibly can make another $500, $600 with what I got left.
That was a good find.
You know, for $20. So I actually went in was in my pharmacist, whatever, and it's kind of like a mom and pop one and all that. And I was looking in the P-Pro section, but I didn't see none. You know, I was hoping maybe they had some there.
When you saw them at the estate sale, did you know what they were? Or did you just happen to pick them up and scan them, or what?
The first time I didn't really know. Like that Saturday when I went there, I saw them, but saw them, but I kind of like, I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, 'cause I figured it wouldn't get much money. But I think either that night maybe I checked it out, or I went by Sunday, and they were still there, and I was curious, so I opened the box up and scanned it. So when I did that, and all that, and I went in there and grabbed it real quick. And said, "Hey, well, you take it? Give you 20 for all of it." And she kind of looked at it and all that, but it would have came out to $29 if I would have bought it for full price. All that.
Were they in the bathroom? Where were they in the house?
In the bathroom and like in a closet.
Which is a great place to look at estate sales.
Like a hall closet. But they were all still sealed in the 4 packs. They were sealed in the boxes. Like maybe a dentist had it, or something. I'm not sure.
We had a question earlier. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, please do, because I'll be honest, with trying to talk to everybody at sometimes and kind of be the host, it is tough. People don't realize keeping up with the chat on the side, and I apologize.
Yeah,
if you guys see any questions, please pull it out and point it out.
Adam Exploits, great guy, does great interviews, said, Eric, you sell postcards. Lots of sellers recommend selling postcards, but I have no idea what is sellable. Any suggestions?
Yeah, I put in the chat. I said,
I'm sorry, I didn't see you answer. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
1920 is probably the best. Image is important. Real photo postcards are the absolute top dollars, but there's a lot of rare postcards out there. It's really hard to guess. The nice thing about postcards is you can get them at a price that's really, really reasonable. You just have to, just gonna have to understand a lot of postcards are $5 to $10 each. A lot of them are $1, so you're gonna end up with a lot of stuff. But if you have the listings, you can list a ton of them really fast. That's what's nice about them.
With postcards, is there any value or devaluation, whatever the word would be, if it's been mailed before or not?
It's actually more valuable if it's been mailed.
Okay.
The old stamp on it too, I guess.
I have stamp collectors that want the stamps. The nice thing about it is you can also now date the postcard.
Right.
That looks like a newer postcard, but it's got a date of 1905 on it because it was just in great shape. There's no way of getting around that. I mean, you can show, hey, it's a 1905 postcard. I mean, that's what I'm listing. These are going to be my individual postcards I'm going to list here in a few days. So I'm just sorting some tonight, as a matter of fact. But images is the biggest thing. What people think is the least valuable postcards is usually the most valuable, and those are the local history shots of, that's an old building that that building may have burned down 40 years ago, but that was a picture of a courthouse or something like that, but it's a named place, and people love that. As far as a history, that's they want to have in their house a photo of the old courthouse around the corner that's not there anymore, but it's got the name. Like I've got some from like Eminence, Missouri and things like that, just weird little shots like that, old restaurants that aren't there anymore, stuff like that. It's really just kind of the image and what it is, and if it's not there anymore, it's even worth more. Fireworks going off, but and then again, the same thing with all images, planes, trains, automobiles. It's always going to be the best.
Actually, me and Jason did a pop-up live last Sunday where I pulled out some of those postcards that I bought at the auction like 2 weeks ago, and one of the viewers, Lynn B, in the room actually bought one, and so I already sold one already. And that's because she said she was interested, and I said, okay, well, send it to my PayPal, and she bought it. But it's like Eric mentions, and Eric's got me back into. I've collected postcards myself of local Pennsylvania items just because I like historical value. But I've gotten back into it because of Eric, and I mean, here's like he talks about the date, and it's neat to say, like, here's this one says 1912 on it's postmark. And I had showed this one last week on the show with the dogs, and it has that embossed.
That's a fantastic postcard. Dogs. People love dogs, and because it's so old, you'd be surprised. The breeds have changed over the last 100 years. That dog looks like a spaniel. It probably would look the same, and so a lot of people love those old images of the old dogs and stuff like that. Yeah. That's like a $20 postcard. That's what I'd probably list that one for.
Now say that again, Eric.
I'd probably put that one up for at least $20.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Maybe I'll do another postcards from the past show. That one actually did. It was a little slow at first when I did it because I did it unannounced. And I only showed maybe about 25 cards. And maybe for some people it was boring, but people that enjoy the subject and showed some cards. And then Jason brought some stuff onto show. And I mean, we were on an hour. I thought it went pretty fast, actually.
I mean, I'm just going to flip through and grab a couple like these and go back to the photo ones. Like here's some photo postcards. This is a real photo postcard from England. Now, English cards don't do as well. This is a market day at Rumford, so it's a place in England. You can tell it's a photo just by the type of material it's made out of.
Right.
Non-American cards don't sell as well. But you get a shot like this. And this is Glen Springs, Colorado, and it's just a bend of the Colorado River. I don't know if it's still there, if it's the same anymore, but just something like that. But it's got this writing down here, kind of tells you where it's at. People love that stuff. And that's $10, $15 for each of these cards. And then there's just, like I said, there's just a large variety. And then if you get, let's see, let me grab one that's been posted. A lot of them don't get posted, which it kind of is terrible, but This is what they call a silk. It's got a 1-cent stamp on the back, so you can see a little bit different. But this is a little different one. It's actually got a nice border on it, so it's actually a real photo as well. So I mean, it's just all kinds of different cool cards and stuff, and there's really good money. And I've got, I think, maybe $30 in this huge stack of cards, and if I got $5 a piece for all those cards, look how much money's sitting there.
Oh, I agree.
You know, you have to kind of look at it that way. Now you have to have listings. That's one of the things. I have an anchor store, so I have lots of listings. If you have a starter store with 250 listings, you gotta be a lot more selective in what you're going to list.
Now, Eric, real quick, do you share your store with the public?
I don't care if they know what it is. Doesn't bother me. It's
because they are posting links to my store, and if anybody wants to share their links to their eBay store, go ahead. Some people are funny about it. They don't like the because they're worried about people kind of trying to sabotage the store and stuff like that. But hey, I'm all. If you guys ever want to share your links in the side as far as your store, please do. And that Glenn, I don't care even if Glenn, if it's for your business. I appreciate everyone taking the time out to spend with me every week and talk to people and talk about the business. And if that's a way we can help each other by you guys sharing your store links, please do. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me if people want to look at my store, they want to have questions or something like that. I mean, it gives you an idea how I do it. I scan all my cards. I don't take photos of them anymore. So if you look at postcards and my things, you'll see two different varieties. You'll see some of the red photos, and then you'll see some of the newer ones that I've listed or scanned in, and the scans are so much better. But that was an expensive machine. So
now Banana Finds has been typing in the chat. You could just click the 3 dots to the right, and you can go right to their channel. That's how you can subscribe. Glenn, you want to say something real quick? Hello in the chat, so every once in a while, so people can sub to you without having to leave the show here.
Yeah, I think I said hello a couple minutes ago. So yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid to, please.
Yeah, just click on the 3 dots on anybody, you know.
Say that again.
Yeah, you just click the 3 dots on the side to anyone that's
right. And when you do it that way, you don't leave the chat as 57 people are watching now. I learned that earlier because I'd be like, where'd the show go? And then you'd have to bounce back. You know, Jason, have we given you enough time to think of a bolo, sir?
Yeah, you know, when I said skip me till the end, I didn't realize I was going to wait an hour.
Well, this is Eric is the father of information here.
It just means I talk a lot.
Oh, look, D popped in. Hi, D.
Yes, I saw that too.
Okay, so here is the bolo. It's called the Conserver. There we go. Is that, you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's basically it's for an Apple II GS. It holds 2 disk drives here, and it has a fan here to cool the computer. This is valued at about anywhere between $200 to $300 if you see it. So that's something you could possibly see on a Goodwill shelf or something.
Now, is that new, unused in the box?
This one is, I don't know if it's unused, but it's exceptionally clean. I'll say that. I have it on I have an actual Apple II GS as part of my collection, but I actually have 2 of them, so I'm going to sell one soon.
I tell you, the TI-99, Jason, which you should talk about, that's the one that I find interesting as far as a bolo. Because we talk about TI-99s, I mean, you see them everywhere, but there's a version of the TI-99 that's $300 to $400.
Yeah.
The original one, it's the chiclet keyboard. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
So yeah.
Someone's asking where I found it. That Conserver I actually bought on eBay, and I believe I paid $3 for it, if I'm not mistaken. I bought it like 6 months or a year ago.
Yeah, that's Dave that's asking that. You paid $300 for that?
Yeah, it was $250 or $3. I forget, to be honest with you. Yeah.
And how much is it worth?
It's worth that. I mean, I just needed it for my system. I have it right here on the desk next to me, and I've always wanted one. So,
okay.
You know, sometimes
as a collector, you're talking.
I collect vintage computers, so sometimes if I want a certain part or piece, you know, sometimes eBay is the best way to go if I can't find it. I mean, the actual computer, I have this beautiful Apple IIgs WAS edition with the signature in the front, and I got that at an estate sale for, I believe it was $100.
Yeah, you lucked out on that one.
Yeah, and I even have the original certificate for it of authenticity, which is really nice, and it's quite rare. So that's really cool.
Hey, Jason, I'm going to come back to you on some computer questions, but Adam had a question for Eric. How about using inkjet for scanning, Eric, or is it better that you take pictures for your postcards?
Well, you can use a flatbed scanner if you want. It just takes a long time. I have a special scanner that scans cards and pictures and photos, and it's a high-speed scanner. It's called the ScanSnap, and that's about $450 to buy that. So it's an expensive piece, but it's well worth it. We're talking about time savings. I scanned over 3,000 stock certificates in a weekend. So I mean, it was important for me to the time factor. I would have never listed the stock certificates, and they paid off dividends for that. But yeah, you can use any type of scan. A scan is going to be way better than a picture, but a flatbed scanner takes a while to scan too. So you're going to do individual scans. It's going to take some time. So it's kind of what's it worth? Is it worth more of your time, or is it worth? Because the pictures are totally adequate. A lot of people just do pictures. Nothing wrong with that. I like the scans because to me it scans it. It's in my system, and I can literally scan them, and 5 minutes later be listing them.
You know, that's one thing. I've bought postcards a lot on eBay, but I haven't sold any except for the one last week. When I showed you, the question I have for you, Eric, is: do you show the front and the back?
Yeah, my scanner will scan both sides at the same time.
Okay,
that's nice about my scanner. It'll do both front and back at the same on the same scan, and what I can do is I can literally take I can take a stack of postcards like this, pop it in there, and less than 5 minutes later I've got them all scanned. So
and it doesn't maul them.
Nope, sits them right out.
It sounds like somebody sold something on eBay.
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
See, you start mentioning bolos and you start selling stuff. I think we both sold something in the first hour of our show here. That scanner reminds me of the scanner that they have at Sam's Club that you can drop pictures in it, and it'll feed them through, and it puts it in as a file that then you can upload. I actually, it was funny because I was just thinking about that with the scanner. I came across some old photos. There was a lady that used to come into my restaurant, and I jokingly said to her that you reminded me of Anne Margaret, and she's like in her 80s now, and she says, "Come here, I want to talk to you." Next time she was here, I thought, uh-oh, did I do something wrong? And she showed me a picture of her with Anne Margaret and Burt Reynolds, herself and her husband. And back in the 50s, she was like a burlesque type lady and stuff. When her husband had died, I sold a lot of his sports memorabilia for commission on eBay. And she had some old photos, and she didn't see the value in them. And I had scanned a lot of them for her, and she actually gave me some. But I'll be honest, when I had gotten sick, I have them locked away in a safe. But I have some old originals back from. I Google her name, and she's very. It's rare to find her photos. Well, yeah. I mean, they're probably worth about $10 to $20 a piece, and I must have a couple hundred of them. A lot of stuff she just didn't care. She was just ready to throw it out.
Yep. Well, that's the nice thing about it. I mean, the scanner I have is if you do YouTube searches for baseball card scanners, that's what turned me onto it. And it's the guys who scan baseball cards because it'll scan a card in the hard plastic sleeve even.
Oh, really? Now, is there a name for that? Because it's
the Fujitsu ScanSnap.
Fujitsu ScanSnap.
Yeah. Okay.
I never heard it because I'm interested because I've bought and sold. I definitely have bought and sold baseball cards and football cards on eBay, and I'm actually looking to get back into it a little bit more serious because I have a connection with a local a baseball coin shop, and noisy keyboards are nice.
Yeah, Jason, I was talking about the noisy keyboard. It's satisfying, clicking away. I love it. And
you can put everybody in the chat to sleep.
For a little show and tell, here's the one off my PC that I have a vintage PC on my desk. This one's kind of neat because it has a trackball in the center there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, are you using that while you're online with us?
Not this one. I have a gaming Razer keyboard that I use right now on my computer.
You have a modern clicky.
Yeah, but I also have a vintage. I like them both.
Yeah, the best of the vintage is what they call the IBM Bigfoot. That's the one that's most sought after, but it takes special cabling to get it to work, but people are willing to invest in. That's usually somewhere between 75 and 150 depending on condition.
Yeah. But that keyboard with the trackball is pretty neat. It's actually quite rare. They're about like 100 or so. Wow.
Did you see the I don't know if you've been following on Facebook the guy, that place that we went to near Pottstown. He's still kind of open, I think. He keeps on saying last weekend, but maybe he's stretching it out, but he's kind of weeding out the warehouse, but he keeps posting some unique things. I'll tell you, I wish I would have known him about a year ago, because he did have some. Now, he's a little tough on pricing, I felt. You just make an offer whether he accepts it or not. It's like, when I bought those patterns, and I bought, I haven't sold anything that I bought from him yet, but I only spent, I think it was $35 at that place. Lately, it seems what's happening with me, I'm selling stuff that finally that I listed 2 or 3 months ago, like the stuff that you were at the flea market with me, you, and Scott, the bearded picker, when we were getting the stuff.
Yeah,
I sold that little mini recorder. I sold a Johnson & Johnson box I bought from that flea market. I sold a Walkman I bought from the flea market. So I'm definitely selling. And I'm kind of picky when I go there. I don't just go to spend money when I go to the flea market, because, like as Eric pointed out before, you got to remember, when you're at the flea market, you're sort of the third guy involved in the transaction, because they bought it from somebody, and then they're trying to sell it, and then you're selling it, and then somebody else is getting it. So I've been very picky, and I never pay full price for nothing at the flea market. I'm willing to, and no one ever turns me down for anything I make an offer on. I don't know if you guys do flea marketing at all much. I mean, Jason, you said you really don't do it that much.
No, I do it more for fun. I like to buy in bulk. I mean, generally, if I go to a flea market, I'm just having a fun day, enjoying the outside weather and stuff.
That's a vacation day, right?
Yeah, serious.
Yeah, I mean, for me, if I go, it's more of a. I'm kind of like hunting for home runs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to be basically smarter than the dealer that you're dealing with, because, like you said, it's a third party, so there's not too much meat on the bone, depending on what you spot that they don't quite know what's worth, and that's not as common, so you don't usually buy too much stuff. At least that's what I find.
Yeah. But see, flea markets are good for ephemera for me, because most people don't price that stuff for what it's really worth. That's one of the few things you can buy, manuals and old paper, things like that. You can buy a lot of that at a decent price. Everybody knows I'll go and I'll buy all the comic books, or I'll go and I'll buy all the, whatever. But most, like, menus and just weird paper people pass up on, because there's no value in that, and you can usually buy it by the box there if they have it. So,
well, guys, I'm gonna take off. So good hanging out with y'all. I gotta get off.
Always fun, Glenn.
Okay.
See you later.
Hey, Glenn, thanks for always giving up the first hour of your time this late at night on, in case you guys haven't subscribed, this is Glenn Swamp Picker, and me and him hit the 1,000 mark 2 weeks ago. So we the same day, and me and Glenn are gonna go into Nashville and be hanging out together down there. So thank you, Glenn.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for that trip. It should be pretty fun.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, Harlan mentions, like, when he goes to flea markets, he's looking for pricing mistakes where they don't know what they have, basically. Which you can always make money at that. But I tend to buy in bulk, so I like to wait until I have that option to, hit a big auction where I know I can go, and if I spend $300, $400, $500, I'm going to walk out of there with a van load of stuff. You know, you buy once every quarter or something at that rate. I mean, more fun.
Yeah, we've got about 2 or 3 flea markets around Birmingham, and one of them, it's just, I don't know, it's probably a 70-30, 60-40 mixture of professional sellers and yard sailors. You know, they're just showing up to try and get rid of some stuff. And yeah, the professional sellers, you know, you may find something every now and then, but I've gotten to the point, I don't go often, but I'm gotten to the point where I just don't waste time with those. You know, I'm looking for the guy that's out there. He's just backed his car up to the table and has, you know, just odds and ends sitting out there because it's.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like auctions, because an auction house, if the auctioneer's not selling the stuff himself, like he hasn't bought out the estate, a lot of times they've gone in and you're getting first crack at everything from the original owner, basically. So, you know, yes, you're dealing with other dealers at that point, but you're also all going to pay a fairly similar price because there's only X amount of dollars in the item. You know, so I mean, nobody's going to. You got to deal with the collectors, but for the most part, you can pretty much get whatever you want at an auction. It's just how much profit do I want to leave myself.
I was surprised when I tell you, I was when I had gotten up 2 weeks ago and Jason couldn't come with me. I said to myself, I was going just because I was up, but I was actually very happy that I did go because you guys again are educating me that. The stuff that I was worried about. Now, some people said to me, oh, why didn't you buy this? Why didn't you buy that? Well, you go with a certain budget. You know, I went with $300 and I said, I can't spend more than that. I wasn't going to buy, let's say, one old tin car for $100. And then, you know, where I felt like I could stretch the $100 and get multiple things. That's what I did. And I was glad because I came home with a lot of stuff for $220.
Yeah, I go to an auction. When I walk into the auction, I say, you know what, I'm going to spend. My budget for the auction is $200 or $300. Okay, that's just a fictitious budget. But I also know that if I have to, I can access $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 if I need it. If it suddenly turns into one of those great auctions where the money is just it's flowing really well, you're getting really good money, then I'm not afraid to go over a budget. You know, you plan a budget, but then you have a contingency budget as well. Because sometimes you walk in and you don't know what you're going to spend. I walked into auctions going to say I'm going to spend $100 and walked out with spending $1,000.
Of course, yeah.
That's one of the things I'll say about an auction. You have to go in prepared to spend money, set your budget, and again maximize your dollars. But if it's really good and you've got the extra cash, then now's the time to buy.
Well, I'm still thinking, and I'll talk to you guys over the next week of going to the auction that you pointed out for me, because even with wanting the YouTube content and wanting to, even though I did I don't know if you saw the video you had asked me about stuff that I bought. Now I did a second video with showing the stuff. It didn't get a whole lot of views this week, but I've noticed one thing with YouTube, and maybe it's just this week because of the holidays, that it didn't get a whole lot of traction as far as people watching it. But that's one of those videos, I think, because it's not like this being live, where lives get traction maybe for about a week. People will come back and watch that who are interested in treasure hunting and auctions and stuff like that. So
what they want to see is they want to see you buy it, they want to see what you bought, and then they want to see when you sold it. They like to see the life of the item.
Yeah. Right, and maybe and some stuff you don't know, and I might sit on some stuff for 6 months. Hey, John, could you? John's coming in the room. Could you adjust your camera so we could see you, buddy?
He looks better now.
We only see the top of his head and his hand, like he's like Cousin It from the Addams Family. Glenn had left, so I invited John to fill a spot, and I wanted John to talk about. I was watching it a little bit earlier, and I didn't realize that John was doing this also, but he did an auction on somebody else's channel, and I just saw on a side chat that it seemed like he did very good, so I wanted him to come in and kind of talk about it a little bit, how good he did, because when I saw the number, I thought it was a mistake, and to really make a week's worth of money in 2 hours worth of auction. So, John, tell them who you are and what's going on. Hello, Megan.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. My name is John, and you all pretty much know me. I just sell on eBay, have a store that'll get open at some point in the future. That's become the running joke. Everyone laughs. Oh, they're gonna go in an antique store that you don't open. Yeah, well, I do, and but it's like tonight. Like I sat there, I sold 11 items, and we did a little over $700.
Wow.
And there's money. You guys, I'm gonna tell you. We fight over monetization and trying to figure out how to get YouTube to give us pennies when you can figure out how to utilize your YouTube channel to make a ton of money. That's the worst auction that I did. Last time I did $1,100 2 months ago.
I'm kind of surprised because, to be honest, I watched it for a couple minutes and I saw the comic books went kind of cheap. And I was like, oh, maybe, people do these auctions and I see them do $100 and that's even still, depending upon what they paid for it. If they got $10 or $15 and they turn it into 100 in 2 hours, it's still $50 an hour. But I mean, obviously, who you did it with, Dwayne, and I see him in the room sometimes, and he talks to Kimberly. But does he do that regularly?
Every Saturday night, doesn't he?
Mothership Products every Saturday night.
Was your John? Were you excited? Were you surprised by the video game lot? It went what, $200? A little over 200.
Yeah, but there's a lot of video games there. I mean, there was a ton. There were 60. I mean, he paid, out of all the video games, he probably paid $2 a piece for them.
Which is $2 more than you had in them, right?
Yeah, because as I told people, I was honest. I got them for free.
Well, the key with doing those type of things is because you're dealing with a crowd that is primarily resellers, that you want to be able to sell things to them they're going to be able to turn around and make money on. You're being the middleman for them. So
what I like to do, that portfolio that I sold tonight, the Stuntman's portfolio, brought $55. I bought that for, I think I paid like $10 for it, something like that. And I pulled out an autographed picture of Elvis Presley. I wanted that. That's my permanent collection. That will be sold. But it's worth whatever you could get out of it. So I can sell that, and I've got what I wanted out of it. So it's all profit to me. And that's what I like to do. Like the T-shirt lot that I put together tonight, most of those T-shirts you can pick up. If you have a good eye for T-shirts, you can pick T-shirts up at yard sales for 50 cents, a quarter, $1. And you just get out there and you pick them up as you're yard selling, find cool T-shirts with cool, big, bright graphics that are relevant. And I sold them for $65. There were 16 T-shirts. I probably had $15 in them.
And that's not the first time you've done the T-shirt lot thing, right? Didn't you do one the last time you were on there?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I got a huge lot of T-shirts out in my garage I need to do something with. They're all 1980s and 90s advertising T-shirts. I just haven't done anything with them.
I got a tractor trailer load of clothing and stuff I need to go through. But you know what happens is you get discouraged that clothing sometimes is slow, or people, clothing's not worth it. And after hearing this with John tonight, who knows? Like, hey, if I find 2-3 bags of good stuff, I mean, I did pull out a Nike jacket probably about a month ago. And what you said, you got $65 for 10 T-shirts?
16.
But still, at the end of the day, I mean, I have all that. I have thousands of pieces of clothing out there that are doing nothing. And, that's one thing you get with this business. You got to constantly be turning stuff over and use the cash flow and getting more items. So now, John,
you go for the fast nickel or the slow dime. I could have spent 3 hours taking pictures of those T-shirts and listing them. And there's a couple T-shirts in there that I think would have sold for, I could have probably got $30 for one of them. But how long would I have to have set on it? I have a quarter in it. If I can flip them quick, I don't know. I hate listing T-shirts.
Yeah, that's I don't do clothing anymore. So I mean, I've got a few pieces of good clothing I need to get rid of, and you know, I won't put those because my little online auction that I do out of my garage, it's not you can't sell clothing in it. Just nobody pays any money for it, so I don't mess with it in there either. It's just one of those things. You know, I don't sell to too many eBay resellers, which is weird to me, but you know, I sell to a lot of flea marketers, so they're not going to pay that much money for clothing. But I'll get them out one of these days. Maybe we'll set up an online auction or something on YouTube or something and get rid of them that way.
I've actually got 70 registered bidders for an auction show that I've been threatening to put together. In fact, I have on my website, I have a form that people can fill out, and it registers. It sends an email to my Gmail, and you can fill out and be registered for the auction. I mean, no one has to do it, but I'm posting the link in the chat if anyone wants to just take a look at it, how I've got it set up, and you can do it similar. And if anyone else wants to put an auction show together, I would be really interested in partnering up with somebody to, you know, because there's money there. There's money if you do it right.
I'm not even really that concerned about making a lot of money on it or anything like that. I'm just, for me, it's clean. Again, it's just another way to clean out inventory that I'm no longer interested in messing with. And,
I think it's a great idea. Hey, real quick, guys, I do want to mention, and I want John to expand, Kimberly, Borderline Hoarders, that we do the Thursday night live show, and we rotate that between myself and Shamrock Pixie. Actually, she's going to have Dwayne on as a guest. I think it's July 25th. If she could confirm that, I'm not sure if she's still up. She's in. She wasn't feeling well. She's in Colorado, but
she put that on in the link. I saw that.
Oh yeah. So she's gonna. If you guys are, and another thing I want to mention is Alex, the Fat Man, the Flipper, does his show 2 hours before, and he's been gracious the last 2 weeks to mention my show. And I think, to be honest, that's why we have a lot of people watching, because they're jumping off his channel onto mine. Tiffany asked me to mention that next week, their show, the Resellers Unite, Alex, Oscar, Jordan, and Josh, and they all get together, and Tiffany, of course, and they do their show night. So they're going to be on Tiffany's channel next week, Eat, Sleep, Amazon. I'm really impressed by the young lady. She started selling on Amazon just a couple months ago, and she's selling in the $10,000 to $20,000 area a month worth of product on Amazon. So if you guys remember next week, Saturday, please go to her channel. And I want to show them some love, because they don't have to do that. They mentioned me twice on the show and stuff like that. And it's just great to have YouTubers working together to kind of a common cause, help each other grow our channels and stuff. So that's greatly appreciated. Johnny, could you please tell me a little bit? Sorry, Jason. Could you tell me a little bit more about tonight? How that worked out that you went on his channel? Now, does he charge you a commission? Is that all he does?
No, he that's his YouTube channel. He don't charge anything. But that ring that I sold tonight, I always try to do them right. I don't know how anyone else does it, but I always pick one item out. I auction that off, and I give him that money. No, I don't give it to him. I tell the person to send him the money, and then I ship the item out. So tonight, right, that ring, I auctioned that off, and that went to him. But I did 5 auctions with him, and we probably did over $4,000. He's put over $4,000 in my pocket.
Wow. And that's great. I mean, see, now this is something tonight that people don't understand. Like you said, the appeal of doing YouTube. And this is why I do it, is because, I don't think he's in the room no more, but it's Pat, the reseller, talking about grinding old PC boards and stuff like that. I mean, you tonight with the auction with $700, Jason with the storage. I'm learning something from every one of you guys, and that's why I enjoy you guys coming on the show.
Well, that's good.
Just wait till you get our bill at the end of the year.
And And for me, I don't care what the stuff sells for.
Well,
I'm
that's
really not there to.
That's kind of the way I agree with it too.
Yeah.
You don't care what it sells for. But the nice thing about it is it's a way for because some people honestly don't have great sourcing options in their area, and it's another way to buy stuff to flip on the eBay that you're helping out another person, you're making a little money, and then they're going to make some decent money off this stuff. It's kind of a win-win for everybody. And
when we all hear the stories about death piles, I think we get stuck, and you get to a point sometimes where, I mean, obviously, as long as people are paying you within, let's say, 2 days through PayPal, and then you're getting, like you said, even if you're getting less, you're not paying eBay, and you're just generating cash to pay a bill or buy something else that, there's a storage unit coming up you want to buy, and if you have stuff that you're not going to sell, you're selling it,
That's the name of the game, generating cash flow.
Right.
Yeah. Easier said than done sometimes.
That auction tonight it'll pay my internet, it'll pay my insurance, and it'll pay my electric bill at my shop. And if I did one of them a month, it would pay. If I did one a month for $1,000, it would pay my house payment, my insurance, my electric, for the most part, and my internet. House payments $600, a little under $600. Internet $75. Insurance is $100 a month, $120 a month for the store, and my electric bill will be about $200 a month. So,
yeah.
I mean, one auction a month would pay for all of that.
My garage auctions I do once a month, and I try to make about $1,000 to $1,500 out of that, and it just makes it easier. It's just money I don't have to worry about. It comes in, and I have to report that. I mean, I have to pay taxes on it and everything, so because it goes through my tax ID number, so I have to pay sales tax on it and everything. But that's a business. That's what we do. But it's just kind of the nature of it. But that's fine. I'll pay this. I mean, I charge the people sales tax. I'm just the government. Giving it to the government, but it goes into my business accounts, and I pay taxes on it and everything at the end of the year. But it's a way to generate income off of something that was sitting in a garage.
Right. Are you primarily doing it with items that are you bought in your lots at auction and stuff that?
Yeah, sometimes stuff I bought, or I overestimated, or I changed my mind. I'm like, I don't really want to mess with this, or it's better locally, or it's too big to ship.
Right.
I got so much. I joke with Jason all the time about going out there and buying more stuff, but I got so much stuff. I could not buy anything for a year and probably never touch anything new and still be able to list every day. I have that much stuff. I mean, when you break it down by piece count, I mean, if I don't lot things up, I mean, there's 10,000 slides there. There's 10,000 slides there. There's probably 40,000 slides right over there. I've got photos. I've got paper. In my garage, I've got 15 bankers boxes full of vintage magazines that will sell for $8 to $10 a piece.
When you list the magazines, how do you do that? When I would list magazines, I would take a picture of the front, and I'd take a picture of the back, and I'd flip it open and take a picture somewhere just in the middle.
Yeah, I do 4 to 5 pictures for every magazine, depending on the magazine. Now, if I'm selling a single, I'll do it that way. If I'm selling like a year, like I'm doing like 12 in a year, I'll take picture of all of them, and then I'll take individual pictures of every cover, but I won't open them up or anything. I've done a lot of Playboys like that because I sell Playboys by the year.
Because they don't
like car magazines and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, if you can find vintage car magazines, I mean, forget it. Those were by the issue, especially from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, that's what I have out in my garage is 50s and 60s car magazines. That I literally was buying at an online auction. I bought all this stuff. I spent like $800 total. And I go up there, and the guy literally says, "Hey, for $5, you can have all these boxes of magazines." And I'm like, there was a pallet of boxes there. I'm like, all right, I'll give you $5. What I didn't know was it was 3 pallets. It took me 4 separate trips to get them all for $5.
LL Cool Banana. What was you trying to say earlier before you were going to say something?
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Tasha mentioned she liked Halloween earlier, and I dug out this vintage Halloween mask that I have.
Oh, that is awesome! I've seen that somewhere before.
It's paper mache. I showed it on another show, but like probably over 2 years ago, maybe. So I've had it for a long time, and I thought you'd get a kick out of it. I thought she would get a kick out of it. So
Yeah, that's neat.
If you like vintage Halloween, how about a vintage Halloween umbrella?
I like it.
Sure. One up me.
Yeah, well, yours is bad. I like yours better, but this is still pretty cool. This is $200 to $300 probably on eBay.
Wow.
Now, what is that made out of, Eric?
It's paper. It's very fragile.
Oh, okay.
So it's that Halloween cray paper stuff. It's probably 1930s, maybe 1940s, but yeah, it's definitely old.
I've got a vintage iPhone right here. Does that count?
Well, you can use it to make Halloween faces on Snapchat.
No, it's pretty dead. I think it's more like a paperweight now. That's a cool umbrella. Both those items are pretty cool.
I like the old costumes that used to back in the day when we were kids. I have one, the Findz from Happy Days. I kept it. I found it probably 20 years ago somewhere. I picked it up at like a flea market or a yard sale for $5, and I don't know how much it's worth, but I just liked it for nostalgic reasons. And I remember as a kid dressing up like Fred Flintstone or something. But my mom was so cheap that they used to, like, as soon as you got home, you had to take it off because you were going to wear it next year. Well, when you're a kid, you're constantly growing every year. So it was hard squeezing in the following year, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean the Ben Cooper is a guy who designed, and that's who. If you'll see Ben Cooper on all the boxes and everything, I love Halloween masks. I buy them by the quantity because I'll go to an auction. You'll have a box that have 15 or 20 of them in there. You get $10 a piece. You know, people just don't buy them. They think they're not worth anything. And I bought a box when I was at an auction with Jason, and there was probably 20, 25 masks in there. You know, and they're 70s, no big deal. Nothing for them.
You say that all the time. When I go to auctions with Jason, I find gold. I'm like, I'm going out
Jason
there.
found a lot more gold than I did. Jason made about $90,000 at his auction. I made about $5,000. So,
yeah, you need to be close.
Again, it's where you source at. I mean, Jason's area is an old area. There's a lot of great stuff up there. It's an auction central area up there. Auctions down south, because I've checked, aren't near as prolific as they are on the East Coast and up in the Northeast. Okay.
Yeah, American Picker says that a lot when they travel, that a lot of stuff, even down south, gets washed away with the weather, hurricanes and tornadoes, where we're not as affected by that. And so there is a lot of, you know, when you think about how the country was started, it started in the Northeast, so it sort of makes more sense.
Well, it makes more sense. And then, again, you know, that's the older families. You have a lot of family farms that have been the same name for 90, 100 years. And when they finally do break them apart and sell off, you know, had the big estate sales, they're just stuff that's been around forever.
Yeah. You know, Pat, there's one other thing I wanted to show since we're still telling
No, anytime, guys.
If you could present me for a second, because it's kind of a big object.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not as good at doing that. So it says present to everyone, right?
You click on him. Just click on his picture.
Yep, here we go.
And is it presented now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is really cool. And in fact, John might know about this, if anyone, because he's pretty good with the artwork, I believe. But I have this.
That is beautiful.
Tilt it back just a little bit, Jason.
It's getting the
tilt it so you get the shine off. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, because you were getting the computer glare.
Is that D-Day?
That's a good question. It is
like a landing craft back there, but I don't recognize the armband on the guy.
It's dated 1942.
It's not D-Day. Let me see the picture again, Jason.
Yeah.
Let me see the helmets again. Okay, those are World War II helmets.
42. Wasn't that like?
Is that a cam? Is he carrying a camera in his hand?
What is he carrying?
They look like they have M1 Grands.
Actually, yeah, he is carrying like what looks like a camera case.
So he's a cameraman. That's probably why the C is on there.
Oh yeah, and there's a camera on his belt actually.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Is that a DVD recorder?
Huh?
Is that a digital camera he's carrying?
Yeah. Now the interesting thing is it's signed by Armando Seguso. Now I looked this up once. He's the guy that did the Gone with the Wind poster, the famous Gone with the Wind.
Oh wow!
Oh really?
So that's interesting.
Jason, is that a print or is that a painting?
See, I don't know. I'm not good with this stuff.
That looks like a print to me.
Sorry.
I can't tell, but I mean, you'd have to pull it out of the glass. But it looks like a print.
Yeah.
Get a loop, and you can see if there's little dots. It's a print.
If there's little dots.
Yeah.
It's probably a lithograph though. So
lithograph, yeah. I have a really old lithograph.
Yeah, there's little dots. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more than likely a stone lithograph. So.
Yeah, that's the word I was. Yeah, I think that's what I was looking for.
I just love the subject and everything. It's nice.
Oh yeah. Now, are you going to sell that? Or are you keeping that for yourself?
That's kept. That's actually been in my family since I was a little kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have.
I do have a lot of very neat and interesting artwork that I have collected over the years, even though I don't know much about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the nice thing about going to auction. You can pick up all kinds of artwork for your house, and then I list it and I put it on my wall. If it sells, it sells. If not, it looks good on my walls.
Probably sitting on a Pablo Picasso. You don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I look up everybody. I've got a couple really good pieces that I have paid literally dollars for, like $1 or $2 or $3. And when I actually start doing some research, the solds are in the $1,500 to $2,000 range. But I like them, so I put them on my wall. If I get tired of them, I'll just turn around and sell them. Artwork's hard to sell on eBay.
I saw
the best is the smaller stuff.
Well,
yeah.
I do have another picture I could show, Pat, if you want to present me one more time. It's
Sure.
It's hanging on the wall, but I can pan the camera. I think everyone would like
Let me. There we go.
It's very large.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
Not even
weird.
Picture. Yeah,
that's a painting, isn't it, Jason?
It's that's a painting on canvas. It's a like a portrayal of good luck, bad luck, and there's all different things in there. You could, if you were looking at it, you could spot some other things that you probably can't see in this. Black
cat, a ladder, fingers crossed, a wishbone, ace of spades, mirror, lucky
upside down horseshoe. Yeah,
that's cool.
Broken mirror.
That's such an interesting picture. I like that.
No wonder your sales are so good.
Yeah, and then over here I got that's that's a lithograph of Larry Elmore. He's a famous Dungeons and Dragons artist.
Did you see that auction that Thrift Trader has going on right now? I don't know if you know Thrift Trader, but he's got a
Jason.
Yeah, 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons book in the box on eBay right now. I think it's at like $500.
Is it the one with the misprinted pages in it?
Is the white box?
White? I'll post it in the chat.
It's cool. I felt bad when he started talking about it. I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, was that like the rule books? You know, talking about the ones that have a little bit of value, but nowhere near what he had.
Yeah, I mean, I used to collect them, so I've had almost all the old ones at one point.
These were for what, 77, 78? Or was it 72?
These ones
original wood grade box, 3rd printing, brown box.
I have these ones. These are let's see, these are 74.
Well, those
Hold on, John. On the Google Hangouts, the white, is it it's not bouncing between us talking no more. It seems to be.
On Hangout it is.
Oh, is it?
On Hangout it is. I don't know about on YouTube.
Okay. You know what happens?
I posted a link in the chat, and then I posted the link in the side chat.
Oh, okay.
His camera, takes horrible pictures. He's using the wrong LED light. I think he's using a.
Oh, see, that's a very rare wood grain 3rd edition. Yeah, those usually, like in better shape, I've seen those go for about $5,000.
Yeah, it says it's stuck on. Is it stuck on one person?
Who's it stuck on?
Says Jason.
Oh.
You click on Jason again, and then click off of him. Sometimes it'll free itself up.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. That you have to click off that white. Now Jason decides to dance when we take it off. Yeah, I know what happens is you have to double click on that white box after you present it. So.
Okay.
Did you see your friend Dusty? I think stopped in.
Oh yeah, whatever. I see him all the time.
Oh. Be nice to him on our show.
As I was saying, that one that John sent the link to, that I've seen that as high as like $5,000 or so in good shape.
Yeah,
those are very rare.
He got it out of a storage unit.
Yeah, he bought it from he found $6,000 worth of gold in that storage unit.
Yeah, that unit was a gold mine, literally.
That unit probably that's probably the best, and it wasn't staged because I know Jason and I love him to death, but he struggles to get his bills paid sometimes and he works his butt off. He didn't have $20,000 to stage that unit. That was legit. He bought that. It was an author that was some famous fantasy author, and he died, and his daughter lost the storage shed.
Mm-hmm.
He got the guy's he had got the guy's birth certificate, his driver's license, all kinds of stuff.
What's interesting is the last two that have sold, first edition in like pristine condition went for like $13,000.
Yep.
And then another one went for $5,500.
He was worried about putting up. He was worried about putting up for auction. I don't think he put a reserve on it.
I told him to sell it.
Well,
he got $6,000 for the gold. Sell it.
Conditions everything though, so that's tough. That box is in rough shape.
Yep.
So it's not going to achieve the super high numbers, but I'm sure
it'll break. I think it'll break $2,000.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe more.
Because somebody buys it, not gonna buy it to play it. They're buying it for the collectible value.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about something like that is, I mean, it's those type of units is that what cause you to say, have faith and keep doing what you're doing. I mean, storage units buying is always a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get, and then you hope you hit a unit like that once every 5 years, but you just got to keep doing it.
Yeah, he's doing a big yard sale. He had posted. I saw.
He did $1,000 over the past 2 days.
Well, Wade does that too, and that's what when you're getting all these storage units, it's good to see them because he did a couple $1,000s. I think he had posted something the other day. His HOA hates him, probably because he lives in an area where you're not supposed to probably be doing a lot of those type things, having yard sales without permission, probably.
Wade's a smart guy. I've been fortunate enough to be around Scott, and which gives me a little bit more access to Wade than what a lot of people have. And for his age, he's smart. He's got money put back, a significant amount.
Yeah.
I have, not that I just overheard him talking to somebody else on a phone call, and I was like, "You the man, Wade. Keep going.
Well,
keep going." It wasn't like
he trades the market too. I've talked to him about that.
He's a smart guy. So when he talks, I tend to there's certain like Jason or or Eric or those guys. When they talk, I'm going to listen because you can't sit at everyone's feet and take advice, but you can see who's successful and see who can and who's successful in this game, and you listen to those people, and that's how you become successful for sure.
Well, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to take my business background with what I know and incorporate that with the advice of, people like yourself and Jason and since I do have the background and understand business and stuff, and trying to make it into this new restart for myself.
Yeah.
Actually, I do listen to people. I was on a chat earlier today, and when I hung up, someone said "Bye, sweetheart." I don't know who that was.
Wasn't
That's me. That's me, sweetheart. You know I love you, Patty Cake.
Oh, that was you. You call me sweetheart, but your boss over there. Is she packing up my magazines yet? I still haven't got an invoice.
They're around here somewhere. I don't know. They're over there. The cat has been laying on them.
Oh.
Michael Jackson magazines, though, they're secured. I'm gonna get all that stuff because I just got my stuff from Dwayne. He's quick, so I got all my stuff from Dwayne. I'm gonna start working on getting all that stuff packaged up, and I gotta go back over to the store tomorrow and price some stuff. But no, you can take advice from people, but the number one thing is you've got to learn how to take good advice.
Oh, I agree.
And because there's a lot of advice that's free, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. But pull up alongside of somebody that can mentor you. Never be afraid to reach out to people. All they're going to do is tell you no. If I asked Jason a question, something that I needed to know from them that might be top secret, all you can do is say, I ain't going to tell you that. And I'd be like, okay. I'll go ask Eric. He'll tell me.
I said, there's nothing I do that's top secret, believe me.
You can send me an SASE.
I think most of the top secret stuff mostly is in like Amazon, because people don't want to give away the stuff that they're because of people going out and flooding it and then just giving away the stuff at prices because it doesn't move as fast. The stuff that we have the tendency to buy, no one on here except, I think, Craig, do you sell on Amazon at all?
Small amounts.
Right. I mean, so I think I'm really the only one selling on it, and I'm only selling $1,000 right now. I don't have the ability to scale it up yet because it's not turning over fast enough. But I'm hoping, I have a 2-year target my expectations for me is to hopefully just make 25,000 selling on Amazon, and then make 25,000 selling on eBay. And for me, I'd be happy with that. I mean, I'm not looking to get rich. I just like the freedom that this has allowed me, and I've turned down job offers because they just aren't worth the time to give up anymore all the weekends and stuff like that for basically the same amount of money I'm making doing multiple things.
Yeah, there's
with Amazon sellers, you just can't talk about the best stuff out there because you're basically giving your information away to your competitors. But eBay, I mean, if you sell the same thing as somebody else, odds are it's going to be in a slightly different condition. It's going to bring a different dollar amount. You can't really. There's no real competition to me on eBay for the stuff I sell.
Right.
I'm not selling new items. I'm not going out there and buying. I mean, I do every now and then, find something new in the package, but just it's rare, So
Amazon's lonely life.
By the way,
tell your best friend. I mean, on Amazon, it's tough to tell your best friend what you're selling.
Right.
If they're selling, I mean, you've got to loose lips sink ships, because it doesn't take anything for a couple people to hop on an item and tank it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, you guys know I'm friends with Scott, and we talk a lot. But even when he did come up, when he was up that weekend, and I didn't ask him once. I was just there to have a good time, and I was excited to meet him and hang out with Jason. I didn't ask him once what he bought for RA, and I understand the business side of it, and I don't buy any, because like he says, you get people in his chat, hey, what are you buying? What are you buying? He's just teaching you. What I've learned from him is to go into places and scan things that you're ungated and you can sell. And it has worked for me. I mean, some things I've sold fast. I'm not sitting on much bad merchandise at Amazon. If it hasn't sold in the last 2 months, I've maybe $150 worth of bad stuff, but I'm selling stuff that I'm picking up. that I'm, and some people don't understand margins too. If you buy something for 30 and you net 36 even after Amazon fees, that's a 20% return. That's still a good return on Amazon. Now in eBay, maybe some people would say no, because that example of that Walkman I told you about earlier, I bought that for $4 at the flea market that me, Jason, and Scott went to, and I sold it for 25. But I can't find 40 of those items.
Yeah, that's the downside to eBay, is that you can readily find stuff, you can share knowledge, you can go picking with your friend, but you're not going to find. It's hard to find that. Dang, I found 40 of these items, because on eBay, if I'm selling this widget right here, and I go to Walmart and they've clearanced it down, that, man, by the end of the day, that if you're not standing there when they mark it down and you post it, that by the end of the day, 100 people are going to have that item up on eBay, and it's going to be bottomed out.
Because they're doing the exact same thing you're doing.
Yeah. So the best thing you can do is try to go out and source from Goodwills and Salvation Armies and mom and pop thrift shops. But I want to do, there's a couple of videos ideas that I have, and one of them I want to do is strap a GoPro onto my chest and just start going around door to door, knocking on people's door and be like, hey, my name's John, and I buy stuff. This is a list of things that I buy, and pull out a fistful of cash and say, what do you got? You don't do it in a bad neighborhood, but
that's why. Wait. That's why I want to get one of those welcome mats that says, "Did you before you ring? Did you call first?"
Before you ring, did you call first? So, but the thing is, a handful of cash typically makes people a lot more. They're like, "Hey, how you doing? Come on in, sweetheart. Let's have some cookies and some tea."
Well, I may have that video game console down in the basement. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and because I tell you, every estate sale that I go to, and in my area, it's different. We're country and we're middle America, so it's different. This might not work everywhere, but it would work here. And you go and you just talk to people, because every auction, every estate sale, every donation that Goodwill gets, guess where it comes from? It comes from somebody's house. So you're just
eliminate the middleman.
Huh?
Eliminate the middleman.
Exactly. That's what they were talking about. The guy at the frickin' flea market. Cut him. Just cut him out of the equation.
That's why I like auctions.
I do too, but you still have people there that, if you can work a deal out and there's no auctioneer, no one to take a cut, no nothing, I think that you can do pretty good.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, I like, because like I said, I like to buy, in quantity at one time. I don't want to spend the time going door to door or talking, 20, 25 or 30 different people. It's like I don't do garage sales, and there's good money to be made at garage sales. I'm not slamming garage sales. It's just not for me.
It's not for everyone. I understand.
So and actually, garage sales is probably one of the best ways to pick up eBay merchandise. Because again, if you go up and you make a connection, start talking to somebody, and you got the eye in the back of the garage, and you realize they've got good stuff, and you can really talk yourself into the house, you can do really well. But that's not my method, I guess. Again, everybody has different methods of buying. I like going to an auction where there's 5 or 6 estates all slammed there. Yes, I'm doing a little competing, but not really for the stuff I buy. So I don't really worry.
And that's the thing with me, is that I don't like watching the garage sale people, because they're not teaching me anything. I'm not learning anything by watching somebody walk around at a garage sale with a GoPro. They're not showing me a thing. I'm not learning anything from you. I've been doing that since I was 12 years old. Yeah. I watch your videos and I go, you missed that, you missed that, you missed that.
They're picking up all the obvious stuff, and it's just where it's a 20-minute video and they'll pick up 3 items.
Yeah. So I watch those people and I realize how much they don't know, and I'm like, okay, maybe I could do what they're doing and do it better, but it's getting up and going to I live in an impoverished area, so the people that are selling, they have like 4 tables set up outside, and it's just either baby clothes or garbage stuff. So like I go to the auctions, or estate sales where I have to drive to St. Louis, and I don't mind doing that. I love the bins, man. I go to the bins and I murder it because I find gold everywhere. I have a set of BMW. I have a BMW. It's some kind of trunk liner or something like that. People walk past that all day at the bins. I show up at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and the section of bins they were getting ready to take out, and I pull this stuff out.
Wow.
And put it in my cart. And I've got a BMW flip. I'm like, who's not paying attention? I just don't. I don't know.
Well,
not that I'm not trying to build myself up, but I'm good at this. I don't know.
What kind of BMW doesn't fit?
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
What kind of BMW does it fit?
I haven't even looked it up yet. I just listed the grill that I bought off the Jeep. I took pictures of the grill off the Jeep and the grill off the Toyota truck that I just found. They're car parts, man. Car parts. There's no resellers at the junkyard. You want to make money, go to the junkyard.
Yeah, one of the guys I know in one of my groups, that's what he does. He hits every picking part, goes in, and just makes mega bucks off of car parts. Because he's paying junk prices, and he's putting them on eBay, and he's just making just tons and tons of money. But it's a big, heavy-duty business. I mean, we talk about Dusty a lot. Dusty, that's where he cut his teeth on eBay, 15 years ago, was selling car parts.
Right.
Yeah.
He's talked about that in his shows, and is a lot of good money, but it's not easy work. There's a lot of testing and a lot of stuff like that. But the smalls, the glove box doors, the visors.
Yeah.
Cash.
It's amazing how small of a piece you can get down to and still make great money.
Yeah.
Right. The trim that goes around the gauge cluster. That's a video series that I want to do and that I'm working on. And I'm always looking for the right car to buy. And I'm going to film it being brought in. And then I'm going to do a walk around and do a video series on how much can I make off this car by parting it out on eBay, and bring it into my farm, set it down by the other junk vehicles I got down there, and just wrench the parts off of it and list them on eBay. And if you really want to be lazy, you don't even have to take the parts off. You just go down with your camera and take a picture of it attached to the car, and list it on eBay. And then when it sells, you go down and wrench it off and take it apart. So you don't have any effort into it until the part actually sells. If you have the car, if you have the place to store it.
Yeah.
Now, the only problem with that, John, is you got to be careful. I've sold car parts. Is sometimes this happened recently. They took a picture of it and then when they went to take it off, the screws were busted or something like that, and it busted the plastic off.
Oh yeah, that could be part of the problem.
Yeah.
But
now I just sold Range Rover headlights for $250. I actually have a local garage giving me stuff that I could, and he says, I have it packed in the garage a lot with stuff, but he probably gave me $1,000 worth of parts, and whatever I sell it for, I get half, and it didn't cost me nothing. But I mean, I agree with you. I really think there's an opportunity, especially if you have the connections. Because think about it, every week somebody's always in an accident or something's going on, and people. When I was coming home from the auction 2 weeks ago, down there at that flea market, I stopped at a yard sale on the way home, and they were selling mostly clothes, but they had 2 Windstar back lights for $1 a piece. I bought them. I mean, really, they should be worth $25, $40 a piece.
And at $1 a piece, you can afford to let them sit.
Right, exactly. I mean, how many times? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you know how many times you buy a $2 lotto ticket and you scratch it off and you throw it away. I mean, I'm going to do better $2 on that if I turn them in even to $40 or $50.
Yeah.
People around here are buying junk cars for $200 and anywhere between, some of them as low as $175, averaging around $250 to $300 for a car, for the whole car. Maybe the motor's blowed up in it, maybe the transmission's garbage. But you could buy that car for $300, bring it home, take the headlights out of it if they're decent, take the tail lights out of it, take the visors out of it. If a car gets wrecked, the seatbelt locks up, so you can take the seatbelts out of it, list them, and sell them because if somebody's rebuilding a wrecked car, they need the seat belts. There's just so much you could do. The ECU, the computer, brain, coil packs, like just so much that you can. And then when you're done, you've got the whole car. If you've got the title, you just call a scrap company up. They'll come up, hand you $100 bill, haul the car off, and there you go. You're done. It's out of your hair. It's gone. If you had a one-car garage, you could put the car in your garage and wrench parts off of it. You know, there. There's just so much money to be made. We live in such an amazing age.
Especially if you grab like a cult classic car, like from the 80s or early 90s.
Yeah. There's so many. Just even new stuff. Bro, just anything that's used. Anything that's a Chevy, a Ford, a Dodge. Pontiac's starting to get a little bit old, but even G6 headlights and stuff like that. Like newer.
If you love your Pontiac, you can't get that stuff now because they stopped making it.
They're not making it. Oldsmobile, are they still making those? Yeah, they are. I'm thinking of though they don't make Oldsmobile anymore. I'm thinking of
George just said she saw a Camaro sell for $25 last week at a storage unit auction.
Wow.
I mean, even
a lot of storage units will sell a car for parts because they can't get the title for it. Depends on your state and everything. So they'll sell it to you saying, you know, you can never put it on the road. You can't do it with parts. Now the problem you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a hulk of metal then that you got to figure out a way to get rid of, and you have no title. So you have to literally be able to either shovel that off to somebody who's going to cut it up, or you got to figure something out for it. So
now I wonder, could they strip that some and you know, have the frame and in a sense make a new car and
the bin is tied to the frame, isn't it?
The bin is tied to the body of the car. Without the title, you can't really do anything with it.
There's certain states you can wash a car like that in.
Yeah,
I think
it's
Vermont
cars you can, things like that.
But newer stuff you can't really. You got to be careful without a title. Selling parts, if I buy a car, it'll have a title, and that way I can take. Because when I've rebuilt salvage title cars before, my green Mustang convertible, I had a '99 Cobra convertible that was wrecked, and we rebuilt it. One of the businesses I tried to start was rebuilding wrecked cars back in my 20s, and we bought that car, and you have to have, when you go to get it inspected, if you buy a part, you're supposed to have a copy of the title for the parts that you bought off of another car. So like I would have to have the title, make a copy of it, and send a copy of that title if it was requested. I think you might even have to do it anyways. There's some laws that you got to know, but you can find out pretty easy if you're able to
document where you got the parts from is what they're looking for.
Yeah. And that's they don't want you know, chop shops.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, see, in Ohio, I can't do anything with a car without a title. Nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing there. That state's
It's just that tight. That's just the way they play it up here. But in some states, you can buy, you know, some states cars that, you know, that are more than like in the early 70s, they don't even do titles for anymore. They just do the registration. But in Ohio, if you found a 1919 Model T in a field without a title, I wouldn't care. They wouldn't do anything for you.
I would drag it out and take it to Missouri, and I'd get the title for it.
Yeah, some states. Now Georgia's one of those ones you can do that too, but yeah, not in Ohio.
If they're old cars, they're easier to get washed.
Yeah, but is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it definitely car parts is a hell of a business. Just as a side note, I did put a link to the scanner that I use to do postcards. It's the newer model of the one I use.
Is that Fujitsu or?
Yeah, it's the Fujitsu. It's the IX 1500. I think is the newest model. I have the IX 500, so you know, I got mine at the end of the model run.
What do they sell for, Eric?
It's like $400.
Oh, okay.
It's not, but it's fantastic.
Right, and if you got a lot of postcards and cards, and now how big of a piece will it take? Now you had those military photos; those were 8 by 10, right?
8.5 by 11. It'll do a sheet of paper.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Hey, John, before you came on the show, we were talking about a bolo. Do you have something that you would recommend to be on the lookout for? That would you always seem to sell?
Golly. Yeah, here's one. Musical dancing Santa Clauses. Sounds crazy, but we're coming up Christmas really quick. Another good bolo is Halloween is right around the corner, and almost all of your if your Goodwills are like mine, they're all corporate. All of those Goodwills will be putting out their Halloween costumes, and like September, October, like late September, early October. Just keep your eyes peeled, because when they put them Halloween costumes out there, certain Halloween costumes that bring a ton of money. And the vinyl masks, they put them out too, and you can buy them and flip them real quick for Halloween.
That's cool.
They hold off on those. They when they get them donated, they actually throw them in the back and keep them until.
Yeah, and they send them out. So if you get in, if you see, say, on October 12th, you walk in your Goodwill and they're setting up their Halloween stuff, then you can pretty much know that you need to be hitting all of those Goodwills. You need to be going, you need to be scanning, you need to be looking up. I found a Monsters Incorporated, the Scully or whatever, the big blue monster. That costume, if you find a furry one, that's like $175, $200. At least it was.
The nice thing is they usually start them out at like $10 to $20. So yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more for some of those costumes, but they can be worth a ton of money.
Oh yeah, yeah. Rubles, is that what it's called? The Halloween masks, the rubber latex masks. Blow molds. Oh, forget about it. Halloween blow molds are worth more than Christmas blow molds.
I love blow molds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a video.
I got a ghost blow mold in my attic I need to get rid of.
I did a blow mold video when I first started YouTube. There's a place up here in the Scranton area in Peckville, Pennsylvania, where the two brothers set up 1,000 blow molds for Christmas. But not only are they Christmas ones, they're Halloween, Easter. They were actually on a show the one year, ABC. So if you guys get a chance, check out that blow mold video that I made. It's only probably about 15 minutes, but it's really unique. I love blow molds myself. I have a couple of them. And sometimes people, they're so big that when they move, they don't want to be bothered with them, that they just put them out on the road. And you get them for free.
And they're not something that's probably real hard to ship. They're big, but they don't need a lot of protection, do they?
Yeah, you just throw them in I throw them in a box and ship them. I mean, yeah, I don't. My shipping department does. Have you shipping department?
I don't think they're making blow molds no more. I think that was something I heard this past year, that the main company that was making them was out of business or something.
I couldn't imagine it being profitable because they're so big to ship, and they're cheap. They were cheap. But the old blow mold, even the old blow mold Halloween buckets can be worth good money.
Well, everything now is those the air blow ups, where they deflate and lay in the yard and crank it on. So maybe that's why kind of blow molds went to the side. I love the blow molds though, as far as
it's
I
great.
like somebody that kind of maybe redoes those. I'm sure there's probably someone out in the field that.
Oh, you can repaint them if you're talented. They sold. Right. I was at an auction. The nativity ones sell fantastic, but they're always missing the baby Jesus. I wonder where the baby Jesus goes to. There'll be Mary and Joseph, maybe a wise man or two, a camel, but I never find the manger of the baby Jesus.
That's odd.
The current air ones are just so fun because it's like when they're like away for work or whatever, they're just melted on the ground, and then when they come home, it's like poof, it's back up.
Yeah.
We never do good with them because where I live, it has to either the kid don't hook them up right and the wind takes care of them, or they get soaked with rain, and then he doesn't put them back in the box. That's what I like about the blow mold. It stays the same all the time. It may take up a lot of space in the house, but You know, you put them in the garage and you can plug them. The problem is now you got to worry that kids drive by or somebody and steals them.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people all the time. If you want to get rich, steal hubcaps. It used to be F250 center caps. Holy crap, those things are crazy. I'm an honest person, but sometimes I go, if I wasn't.
Yeah. It reminds me of Sanford and Son with hubcaps and stuff. You know, that was probably really the first, when you kind of think about it, someone that maybe it's the only show that kind of really focused about reselling junk and different things. Kind of when you think about it, I don't think there is no other show out there that kind of focuses on what we do. You know, except for obviously American Pickers now is popular. That's why when you were talking about going to strangers' house, I think you'd probably have better luck if they don't answer the door. You leave a flyer with your phone number, because you're going to catch some people off guard, or they're out working and they're not going to be home. Like Melissa was pointing out, in certain areas you wouldn't want to knock on people's door because they'd be telling you to get the hell off the yard, you know?
Yeah, George, that's Jeremy's better half. Jeremy. And she said that Jeremy had 3 of them stolen off of his truck. I said, they sell great and they're expensive. So when someone needs one for their truck, they just take them a little screwdriver, bend down next to somebody else's, and just pop one off, and they've got their center cap, I guess. What she said, they've been exploring an old stone building. That would be cool. I'll have to watch that video.
She's on a little mini vacation this weekend. She actually just quit her job. I think the day before, and they passed 100,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, congratulations, George. Yeah. They left him with just 1. That's crazy. Why would you take 3? You need the whole set. That's $200. I couldn't get it off. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody
may have happened to them. They may have just 1.
Yeah.
I always seem to knock mine off. You turn too hard or something, and you hit the damn curb, and then you see it in the back of the window rolling around. I'm like, and then you're like, and then you ever try to go back for it and find it? You never do. You know,
I've just been run over and already flattened, so why worry about it?
Exactly. I did that with a gas cap once. I had the card where I could get gas for like 20 cents a gallon, and the lady made me come inside. And then when I went inside to do it, because she said the card wasn't working right out at the pump, so I came back out and forgot that I had put it up on the top of the car and drove off. And then I heard this bang, like I heard it hit the window. And well, so I saved $8 on gas, but it cost me $15 for a new gas cap.
Well, you just could have found somebody else with a car like yours and got a gas cap for free.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's
that. Too honest.
Well, yeah. That's come on. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, when I go down to Jason's, I just back up my car and load it up. What are you going to do when I go down to your place and back up the car and send you over to the Pizza Hut across the street and I load the car?
There ain't going to be. I don't eat Pizza Hut. You'll have to send me over to the Chinese food restaurant.
Is it good Chinese in your town?
It's Chinese people that own it. They're real Chinese people that run it. They're really nice people. I really enjoy talking to them.
I bet so excited to see somebody new come to the neighborhood. I don't eat at many Chinese restaurants unless I can see the kitchen. I'm a little picky.
You're probably better off not knowing what.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're better off just like, you know, does it smell good? All right, that's what we're gonna go by. It's the most perfect kitchen in the world. That's all you got to remember.
Yeah, just don't tell me what I'm eating. It tastes great.
Just remember, you never see cats or rats around a Chinese restaurant.
I circle the building, and if it doesn't look that good, and nope, I'm not eating there. I know too much being in the food business.
But the scary thing is, you're probably missing out on some of the best Chinese restaurants in town.
No, that's okay. I just find one good one and kind of try to stick to that.
Oh, come on now.
Anybody use Instagram?
Yeah, I do. Why?
I I post over there every once in a great while.
I'm not. Be honest. The only reason I got on into it in January when I met Wade and we talked privately, and he says, "Pat, you got to get on Instagram." I'm like, "For what?" Now, I mean, that's one thing I will say. A lot of people, I tell people, especially viewers, to reach out to me on Instagram. You know, a lot of times you get requests on Facebook, and I don't know who these people are, because especially when they have screen names made up, it's very difficult. And what I like about Instagram is it's easy access. You can say hello, how you doing, what's up. You don't have to, worry about someone going through 15 years worth of photos on that you have on Facebook, And so I'm always a little apprehensive about Facebook, just personally. But I do like Instagram better for that reason.
Getting all creepy and looking at your stuff, especially, like people friend me, and I don't mind people from YouTube friending me, but then some of my wife, and she's the one that's posting the pictures of the kids and stuff, and there's some weirdos out there, people, and it's the ones that try to slide up beside you to get more access to you. They're
like
the ones that
I'm friends with you, and I always, it's funny because I always see it in my request for Megan, but I haven't talked to her, so why would I send her a friend request? Now, if I come down there and meet her and hello and this and that, then I'll feel comfortable, because that's just the way I am, and I don't mind, like us guys, YouTube creators and content, we've talked to each other, and I mean we've talked to each other hours, that I don't mind, but I just try to be respectful of other people and myself, that and that's why I don't mind. Now, what's happening is on Instagram, and I like about, is people are wanting to meet up with me to say, hey, you want to go thrifting or Goodwill? And I'll be honest, I enjoy it. You're not one that likes to travel, you say, but I don't mind meeting up with people, and if it's on my way, stopping off and they enjoy meeting people, and I like it myself. But I know what you're saying about the Facebook issue.
And the thing is that if it's people, she asked me, and she goes, this person friended me, and I go, yeah, they're okay. Or this person friended me, and I'm like, I don't know who they are. Like, if any of you friended my wife, it'd be like, yeah, I know them. They're good guys, or they live far enough away, they're just going to be creepy from a distance. So, like, there's no problem. But, like, some people, they just, like, that's my wife, and this is my family, and I am Papa Bear, so I'm kind of protective.
I'm the same way.
And I couldn't imagine, like, you look at some of the females, like Kim, or even like George, she's very pretty. Like, I couldn't imagine just the weird stuff they got to deal with from dudes, just like weird dudes. Like I've seen some of the comments. I've been in chat with What the Hells, and just watching chat and watch what people say and comments on videos, and you're just like, dudes, why you got to be like that? Why you got to be so creepy? And that's what I try to protect my wife from, and that's why she's not in a ton of videos, and I don't put my kids out there in a ton of videos. Like, I like to do stuff with them, like when we went to the zoo, but my wife, honestly, she doesn't want to be on YouTube, so it works out pretty good.
She's busy shipping all your stuff all the time. That's all she does.
Yeah, she's back there looking like who's the guy from Inspector Gadget that while we sat in the chair and you always seen his hand, the claw or whatever. What was his name? I can't remember. Anyways,
I don't know that.
Does she ever watch you on any of your some of your crazy sometimes?
She don't. She lives it. She don't have the stuff that she watches some of my videos. It'll probably be after I'm dead. Then she'll go back and she'll be like, oh, my husband, he's gone. I'm going to watch all of his videos because I have memories of him or whatever. But, like, she's not, like, a fan because she lives with me.
Either that or she's going to go back, and now that you're gone, she'll go like, okay, great, unsubscribe.
You sure that's not more what
He's passed away. Now we can open the store. Yes.
Yeah, we can close the store and I can move to the ocean. That's what she's thinking.
Maybe I'll get my Michael Jackson books because she'll take care of it.
She'll take care of it.
Wait, you still haven't gotten that Michael Jackson stuff?
Well, no, it's been 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, yeah. I'm also just drive down next week and pick them up myself.
You see this here? There's a really nice lady that I need to ship this to as well. I got like 4 items that I'm just shipping to people just because I'm a nice guy but I got to ship Barb the Wookiee magazine. I have a shipping department, and I don't like to make her ship stuff that we're not making money on, because it's just more work for her.
Put those kids to work.
And Pat, the problem is if you drive down there, you know, all you're going to get to is a locked door.
Yeah, he gave me a key.
George says, I do not accept any Facebook requests. We decided that Jeremy is the more public figure. Even though I handle all his communications for him, we block hundreds of people every day. So if you want to talk to George, friend Jeremy, that's about the way. That's a good. He needs to put a ring on it. He tell him to.
When you have that many followers or that big of a YouTube channel, you really just need to do a separate Facebook page for your channel and your business, and just do it that way.
Right. I mean, because think about this. I mean, I was always very conscious of my Facebook. I only had maybe 450 people, and everyone I could tell you a story about. I've talked to them. I've done something with them. Half of them were either sometimes former employees or local friends, or I went to school with. And then all of a sudden you go onto YouTube and you're kind of thrown into, and you get like Curious George that has 100,000 people. It only takes 50 of them to be a moron and to ruin that experience.
It only takes one for that to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes me glad I live in a state that is a constitutional carry state.
Michelle, I'm not sure what you're asking. We're in the chat. I don't see all the what's going on, so I apologize if I'm missing something. But sometimes what happens, I'll see part of the conversation, I'll reply, and then maybe I'm not catching the whole thing. So I'm sorry. If you want to leave a comment or email me after, I appreciate everybody that takes the time. I mean, think about it. I only have 1,090 subscribers, so my comments are small compared to people that have, even 30,000. And I mean, the overall has been a positive experience. But I comment and reply to everybody. But you do get people that are knuckleheads, unfortunately. And you're trying to do this. I do enjoy doing this. And it's just from the social aspect of meeting people. But you always try to be conscientious to make sure that you're not fumbling. Sometimes I'll beat myself up over like, oh, did I answer something right on the show, or how did I handle it, or and then you go back and say, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Can't overthink it. Just like we've always thought, just be yourself, and that's the best thing you can do.
Well, yeah, but sometimes like my cousin comes over last week and goes on Kimberly's show for 25 minutes and all hell breaks loose. You know what I mean? We get John Dirte last week coming on and losing his, Does Megan know who John Dirte is?
She sleeps with him every night.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
Hey, Craig.
Yeah.
You play your cards right. Maybe you get a little slap and tickle from the old Dirte too.
Whatever.
Oh, okay. Michelle was saying basically what we were talking about. I don't mind certain people, like things with even Instagram or this stuff with social media and Facebook. And to be honest, I love meeting people and love talking to them, but just be nice. I just worry that sometimes some people come on there. You just feel guarded. I guess that's what I'll say. I just want to be, like John talks about his wife and stuff. My wife just got on Facebook 2 years ago, and I wouldn't be too happy if someone said anything to her that was rude or, that's just the natural bear instinct in myself, even my kids. And sometimes people can be mean-spirited. I'm good at defending myself, but I think when people kind of cross the line and are saying things that are rude towards your family, to me there's just no room for that. So
yeah, you just can't live life in fear of things like that happening, though. You want to be protective, but you can't.
Well, again, it's reaching certain milestones with me as far as Facebook, and then being connected. Like, you guys are great. I talk to you guys. I trust you. Instagram's a little bit more filtered that I can, and I love connecting with people and talking. I just want people to be respectful and be loving and don't make, because it's just I see it with regular Facebook. I'll be honest. There's just certain people. My son had me blocked because sometimes he's 30 years old today. Well, actually yesterday, July 6th. And he sometimes would put dumb things or share dumb memes. And I would tell him, don't put that up there. Take some pride in what you post. And, but he's like, Dad, it's my own Facebook. Who are you to tell me? I know, but you're my son, and I'm trying to teach you the right way. And I always feel sometimes we look at society, how kids act. Oh, they must have not been taught right. That's not always true, because I didn't have good parents, and I know better. But you still, like I was telling even my youngest son, Joshua, yesterday, he sometimes is a little bit throwing some words out in front of my wife, which I don't find appropriate. And I'm always trying to tell him that, no, that doesn't cut it with me. We don't talk like that.
Right.
So guys, what's on, we didn't really talk about, I usually go flea marketing on the weekend. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, I have a 30-year-old son. I was 17 when I had my first son, and my wife was 19. So I didn't have a good home life, and finding my wife was the best thing that ever happened to me. So we've been together since I'm 16, and I'm very blessed to have her. Just unfortunately having no family else to fall back on. This is why I really am, and I've said this before. I can't go knock on the neighbor's door and say, "Hey, you want to talk about some things that I sold on eBay last week?" It's just not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
You could do that. You might. The door's gonna get slammed in your face, but
hey, Pat, it's Proverbs. It's Proverbs 18:22, brother. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So the women are better than us. It's just most of them.
I found a terrific wife, and unfortunately, she had a father that wasn't very loving towards her. Her mother is, because my father-in-law is not towards my mother-in-law. So it worked for her too, that we talk about everything, and I treat her good. And I'm not perfect. Sometimes I can raise my voice a little bit, but I realize when I do things wrong that I apologize. And she, I have the house a mess right now, and I'm people used to drive by our house and say, "Oh my God, Pat, are you ever home?" Because I was always at the restaurant. Nothing's ever in the yard. Nothing is ever out of place. So that's how our home was probably for close to 18 years until I started doing this full time again. And this is why we're remodeling the basement, because I had to change this camera back around to this backdrop because I was getting comments about my Christmas tree being up in the living room. And sometimes people would joke about that. And is he serious? He has a Christmas tree up? Yes, I do have a Christmas tree up. It's because I didn't want to carry it up and down the attic, because the last 2 or 3 years that was going on, I was losing parts to it. And I said, you know what? No one comes in our house. Let it there. It's not hurting one. I personally love Christmas, so it kind of adds to my story. I'm actually working on something that I'm going to be selling. I own ChristmasDecember.com, and part of my plan is every fourth quarter is to sell Christmas ornaments and different things like that. As part of, because I just love Christmas. I've been to Disney World probably 5 or 6 times in the last 20 years just at Christmas week. And, for me, some people say, why do you go to Disney World? It's so crowded there. I love it. I love the crowds. I love the people. Now, some people don't know how to take me, because if you watch some of my videos, it was funny because someone commented the other day, oh, he wants to go to the fast food restaurant and just talk to strangers. I talk to everybody. And now sometimes I get myself in trouble, because sometimes I had a lady not too long at the Goodwill basically told me to shut up. But oh well, she was rude to the help too, so I just took it that was her problem, not mine.
I haven't been to Goodwill in over a year.
What's that, Eric?
I haven't been to Goodwill in over a year, and I got to think.
He said
Ben's like 5 minutes from my house, so I literally just never go there.
Are you guys doing any flea marketing, garage sales, auctions this week at all?
nothing.
I mean, I've got some stuff I'm watching, some of my online auctions, but I don't know if I'll buy it or not. It just depends on what it is. If it's the price is right, but aside from that, I don't have any live auctions I'm going to be going to.
I'm going to talk to you. It won't be after the show today because it is late, but I'll talk to you probably in the next week or so. Now, my son's graduation party is next Saturday, and Side Hustle Pro is coming in from Washington to Pennsylvania to do some sort of Spartan event, and he has arranged a meetup at a restaurant in Mechanicsburg, which is just north of Harrisburg. So I'm thinking of going to that.
Mechanicsburg is south of Harrisburg.
South of Harrisburg. I knew it was near it, but I wasn't. Now that you remember years ago when we used to have to look at maps. Now you just put it in the phone and.
Yeah, I used to. When I worked for Ollie's, that was one of my stores. Was Mechanicsburg. So. Oh,
was it? Oh, okay. So I'm going to do that. So Saturday's the graduation party. We got to make food on Friday, and then Sunday go to that, and then we're supposed to do that auction the following week. But then even the following week is starting up a show on Wednesdays, July 24th, All Things Amazon. That'll be like a business-related show Wednesday mornings. And then I got invited to a base to do a friend of mine that used to come in the restaurant always said, hey, come down every time, and we're going to do a flight simulator for about an hour and a half. You play like a pilot. So that's something I've never done. And I'm going to try to film it, but he said I could bring a camera, but I don't know how much restrictions are on the base.
A lot.
Probably.
Yeah, I know, because you can't have no weapons or nothing, even in your car, or stuff like that. And we talked about that. And so he did say I could bring a camera, but I don't know how much film. In other words, maybe it's just take a picture of you sitting in the pilot seat, but I'm not sure. So that's going to be, and geez, July is already over. And then next month, August, I'm going to the Nashville meetup. None of you guys are going, right? Craig, are you going?
Nope. It depends. My son will be starting school, so it may be tough.
Yeah, Eric has the same problem, right?
Same. Yeah, that's the first week, and they actually Lucas actually starts school the Thursday before the meetup.
Right.
I think they did it earlier in the month last time, didn't they?
I think they did it like a week earlier. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a terrible time to actually do something like that when people with kids and everything. I mean, if you don't have kids, it's great, no big deal. But
right. Yeah, this is my son just graduated, but he's actually starting his college program next week. They have a program. He goes through General Dynamics. I don't know if you ever heard of them, big aerospace company. Well, we have a local, within a half an hour, we have a place. And what happens is he goes and then they take over his education. And the last 3 or 4 classes, the last 2.5 years, they've hired everybody. So he doesn't have to go a full 2-year course and not get himself into debt, and they'll take over and finish his education and offer him a good job right off the bat. But that won't be until the fall/winter. But I'm actually going to even Florida, December 29th, going to be down there. So, and the months go by fast.
I'm going to be down. I'll probably be down in Florida in over December, over Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If you are, I'm going to be down December 29th to January the 4th. So if you're, we're going to Disney World, and we're staying. I think we're staying in Kissimmee. I just gave the deposit for the house. We got our own pool and everything, and actually the price.
My dad lives down on Amelia Island down in Florida, and I told him I'd come down for Christmas to visit him. So
yeah, I love Disney. So
I could have gone in July when it's nice and muggy and hot and nasty, or I'll just drive down in Florida, in the middle of December when it's freezing cold up here, and I can at least enjoy some milder weather.
Right. So,
Perlini says she'd like to visit Nevermore Antique store in person. It's really easy. You drive up, you look over, the door's locked, you wave, and then you drive past.
You wave to John inside.
Tap on the glass. He really likes that too. You know.
Tap on the glass.
I'm waiting on him to get a sign on the outside that says "Don't feed the bears."
Last week he had friends come over while we were. We weren't live. We just hung up on the live, and then we were. I think were we on a pier or something like that, John?
Yeah.
And then your friends came by, and we were talking to them a little bit, and you know that neat interaction that you're going to do from the shop, I think is going to add another different to your YouTube channel.
Rump Stump says, "Press your face
Have a webcam that pops up where people can just say hello to people as we're on a pier or something."
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here in a couple minutes. Curious George asked me, when you going to let us come see you? Anytime. I like I said, I'll come to you guys. I'll be honest, I feel bad. I mean, they're a big channel and they're busy, and them to take the time to even interact with these smaller channels. And you guys are busy. I get it. And there's Tiffany, Eat Sleep Amazon, which I talked about earlier. Their show next Saturday at 9 to 11 will be on her channel, Eat Sleep Amazon. That's Tiffany. She does that with Alex, Flatman the Flipper, Joshua, Suburban Beard, Oscar, I don't quite know his nickname, DG Picker, Jordan, who just had a baby. So he hasn't been on. He actually popped in today, the last couple minutes and so. But next week, and they've been so gracious to help push my show, and I think it gives me they give me a good starting point, because you get 15 or 20 people that are watching their show and they come over into my show, instead of having to, what's happening is YouTube, a lot of times the notifications are 20 or 30 minutes late, and sometimes it takes 20 or 30 minutes to build an audience, where pretty much right off the bat I'm starting with 20. And today was pretty good, I think, to be honest. I think at one time I saw we had 57 people, which, based on how many people follow me and at this time of the night, that's great. So I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate everyone that's coming on the show. I did have a talk that we're going to try to keep it to about 5 people. So what I liked about today's show is everybody had the opportunity to share their own stories and talk to one another without over talking. And because without them, I don't want to do a show by myself. I'll be honest. It's very hard to interact with yourself talking to a screen when you're not hearing nothing back. So it's always nice to conversate with the guys and talk about, this business that we do and in life and stuff like that. So I appreciate everyone stopping by this weekend. As you know, we do every Saturday, the Late Late Show with Patdees, and we rotate on Thursday Night Live with Kimberly Borderline Hoarders and Shamrock Pixie Destiny. And I'll let everyone on the panel here say goodbye or say something they want to. If you guys want to plug something that's going on this week, Craig, I know you do stuff during the week. If you want to mention that, please do.
Sure.
So start with Craig.
Sure. Like Pat said, I appreciate everybody jumping in and putting up with us for a little over 2 hours. It's been my channel is Landshark Picker. We've got started we call it the mid-morning break room, 9 o'clock Central Time, Monday through Friday. Had a pretty good crowd, but you are welcome to come in. We usually have a topic, but it's a little more laid back. But definitely appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Had a great time.
Heavy typewriter, Jason?
I got nothing. Later.
Are you tired?
I'm like half asleep.
No,
I'm sorry.
Jason and Eric are really important to the show here. I've met these guys in person, and I really appreciate the time that they give me every Saturday night the last couple of weeks to do this. So it really means a lot to me personally. So I appreciate them, and I want you guys to know that.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome, Eric. Anything going on that you want to push, buddy?
Just like I said, just keep bouncing back. Check out everybody's channel. It's on the panel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. you're going to find like 15 videos on mine, like 15 videos on Jason's. We're not big YouTube things. We're too busy working, but you know, enjoy interacting with the audience. It's a great audience today. I mean, it's ask the questions, please. That's the biggest thing I think that most people don't realize about doing a show. Audience participation is huge.
Right.
Because we all hang out together. We all talk each other. I mean, we can, you know, we all know what's going on in each other's lives and everything, but you know, we don't know what you guys want information on. I mean, if we can help, we're more than willing to help. That's what we do these things for. So
exactly. And if we're skipping chat, you know, as we're talking to one another, this is why I'll be honest. Sometimes I have now the girls. Anita said she will be back for sure next week, and Kimberly will be here. A lot of times, the girls help me with that chat on the side to kind of point questions out to all of us. So it's nice that because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're being skipped over or questions. I've seen people that have 35,000 subscribers, and they literally do a show, nothing about a topic, but just basically talking to people on the side chat. Now, having 55 in the room, we would go through that show very fast, so we can't obviously do that. I understand why they do that. That's a little Q&A and to interact with the viewers. That's when they have 200 people flowing, so they can do that. I want to give a show where we can provide information, have fun, talk about things in life, but I want to make sure that we're not ignoring the chat, because you guys are important, because you the guys are taking the time to out of your day to follow us. But I want to end it here on John Johnson. He will get the store open eventually, but I want him so he's not going to probably plug the store opening. But Johnny, what do you want to plug, buddy?
I would like everyone to know that I am madly in love with Patdees. He is my spiritual brother from another mother. Jason reminds me of LL Cool J. Eric,
for sure.
Book 'em, Dano. And Craig, looks like you're getting ready to officiate a women's soccer game in Spain. I love you guys. You're great men. You're all good men. Have a good night, and God bless.
Let us know when you can do that. And I signed up tonight, so.
Hey, I really great show, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night, and thanks for following me. I do appreciate the support. Bye-bye.
Peace.